All right, guys, go ahead and get started. So, if I can have those who are participating go ahead, kind of semicircle into the front over here. We'll get started with our Combatives primer. All right, this is Dojo Ministries, and being that we are in ministry, I'm going to go ahead and pray to get it started, and let's go ahead after that, get to the butt kicking. All right, let's pray. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for those who are here, and then a few more on the way. I thank you for the Combatives primer seminar that you've allowed us to host here. Help us have a safe and fun time as we teach people martial arts. We teach them ways to defend themselves and introduce them to the martial arts way. And I pray, Lord, you be glorified in all of this. So thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. Keep us safe, Lord. Help us to have fun. Help us to learn, and may it be a time that encourages all of us. In your name we joyfully and thank you pray. Amen. All right. A few quick introductions. All right. My name is Pastor Guru Vince Alvarez. I am an elder here at Base Family Church Solano. I am also a youth pastor for our Lighthouse Ministry. I am our chief instructor for our Dojo Ministries program, and I'm happy to have you guys here. I hope you guys have a good time. We hopefully gonna have a fun, safe, exercising time, and we got the air conditioning on most of the time, so we don't sweat too much in the summer heat. A few introductions. We do have our team who's going to be helping out today with our instruction. We have Noah, who's going to be our jiu-jitsu instructor tomorrow. We have JR, our fellow pastor, as well, who's going to be helping with instruction today. Likely we have Shepard and Hanu, who's going to be helping out teaching techniques. They know what we're teaching over the next 2 days, so you can ask myself, Noah, or these guys, or if you're confused about technique, not just me, they know what they're doing as well. Likewise, we have our videographer and old friend of mine, Jeff Caparula, and his wife over there. Jeff will be recording, so that way, after the seminar, because I'm going to fire hose you guys with techniques, Noah's going to double fire hose you because he's also a firefighter apprentice. So, you're getting a bunch of techniques. No one expects you to remember every single day. We're giving like 3 weeks worth of introductory classes in 4 hours, all right? We will have video for you guys to go back and review this later. So, feel free to check that out later. Learn what you can today, pick up more on that later on when we check out the video. All right? So as we get into our Combatives Primer seminar, I do want to set the tone for what we're doing today. All right? Now, if you think martial arts, in Cobra Kai fans, a few of you, right? Maybe you've seen a few MMA movies, watched UFC, and think, yeah, we're going to beat each other up. No. Just because we signed a waiver does not mean I want you guys using the waiver, okay? And please don't make these waiver on us, all right? We're going to be doing what's kind of called a backyard instruction, all right? And backyard instruction means, for my part specifically that we're teaching today, Filipino martial arts, commonly known as Eskrima, Arnis, Kali, is what we use more in the States. It was passed down from father to son, all right? It was a tribal art. It's like, hey, we want to be able, like, we have to be able to survive. So sons or fathers teach your sons because they're next in line when it comes to fighting, right? We're passing it on to the next person. It's a backyard kind of mentality. It's like, hey, in the backyard, after dinner, while we're hanging out and having fun, we're going to show you these techniques, right? So we're kind of having a backyard mentality, which also means we want you to have fun doing this. If you're thinking this is like self-defense, combat class, all these things, yes, but also think of it this way. We're teaching you the mechanics to the game that is martial arts. Right? Have fun today. If you're not smiling, like you're trying too hard, relax, okay? It should be fun. You're going to see us playing around, for example, on right here, right? Rolling, right? Tap, 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 and then, we'll get to the point where we're not playing around, and it should be fun, it's nice, it's light. I go, and I like brag a little bit till he gets me next time, all right? No bruises, no bleeding, no one's going to the hospital. We're having a fun time, right? And that's also when what you learn here, the idea is you are able to take this home, and maybe someone wasn't able to make it today or make it tomorrow, this weekend at all. We want to teach you in such a way that you can take it home and teach people who want to learn this technique, learn these techniques, okay? There's no secrets here, right? Everything that we're teaching you is like the introductory trial classes. That's what we're giving you, stuff you can find on YouTube. You just get to experience it here. So if you have some friends like, man, I wish you could have gone, we're teaching you in such a format that you can bring it home and teach them in your backyard. Or, during a pool party or after a barbecue, right? So again, we want you guys to have these techniques to bring them home, teach them the games that we're going to play today. And I'm going to very much call them games rather than drills or exercises, because I want you guys to play the game and have fun and smile. And it's a lot more palatable, and it's not so much like don't die, don't die, don't die. It's hey, we're playing. Huh? Got that point? Got that point? Woohoo! Got you, right? So we're gonna have fun with that game. Now that being said, I want to clear the air a little bit about what we're doing today. How many of you saw the title of the seminar and you saw Combatives Primer and you're like, I had no idea what you're talking about. It's okay if you raise your hand. It's like, yeah, I don't get it. How many of you saw self-defense and you say, oh, I understand that. That I'll sign up for. Right? Real quick. What is self-defense? It's okay if you feel like it's the wrong answer, throw it out there anyways. That's what people think self-defense is, right? Technically yes, but technically still no, right? It's a dean. You law enforcement. What's self-defense? Protect yourself. That's what people think. Techniques designed to protect yourself, right? And entry-level techniques so that you are capable of fighting. And that's what Combatives Primer, in a sense, is techniques that can be used in a wide array of scenarios so that you can fight. And people say self-defense, and that's what we think this is, self-defense class. Here's the reality. Self-defense is a marketing term, and it's a legal term. It's not a natural martial arts term. It's a marketing term because it sells and it gets people in the door. You want proof? Look around. You're here. Gotcha. That's why I hate saying it's self-defense, because self-defense kind of limits it. It's like only being able to survive on the streets. Not that. Second, self-defense is actually a legal term saying that given the circumstances in play, I was justified in using what actions I used to defend myself, including violence, even up to the point of death. It's saying, hey, the law says I'm good to go. I'm legally, morally, ethically clear in the actions I took to defend myself, right? Meaning it's justified violence. A little bit dark of a tone, right? That's what self-defense actually is. This is not just self-defense, right? Again, learn the game of martial arts. Some of you, for example, we got Noah who's competed on an amateur level, right? The same punch he does in an MMA fight is the same punch I'm going to teach you today. If you want to just do the art like you're doing kung fu, right? I'm not trying to defend myself. I'm just trying to make my life better, right? People get into martial arts for one or two reasons. Because for one reason, they need to fight better, because they need to protect themselves, because they need to do so professionally, or because they're competing, or they're trying to make their life better. That's why so many entrepreneurs doing jiu-jitsu, because it makes them better as a person. It makes you better at the business, right? We're giving you the foundation so that you can do both. So you can fight better, so that you can live better as well. That's what Dojo Ministries is actually all about. That's what the wings represent in our logo, right? Pursuing excellence in spirit and skill. Making you better people by making you better at fighting. Seems paradoxical, but it does work, right? So, lastly, just for the topic points, Combatives Primer. The reason why we chose that term for what we're doing here today. Combatives is fighting techniques that are not distinctly associated with specific martial arts, right? This is a common term used in law enforcement and military, and that's their fighting techniques. Like, hey, you have to fight, so here's the fundamental techniques you need to learn in order to be able to fight and deal with whatever situation you're in, right? So there's fundamental techniques, and they can draw from different martial arts, but they're not pursuing black belts. They're not trying to pursue the art in martial arts. They're pursuing more the martial aspect, okay? That's why we said combatives. Primer is that first layer, right? My goal personally is that as you leave today, you think, man, that was a lot. I learned a lot, but there's so much more I need to learn, because I want to learn it because it's fun, because I want to defend myself better, all that stuff. And today we're hoping to put that first layer of paint so you can actually paint that masterpiece that is your martial arts capability. All right? So today is just an introductory level. Learn, get introduced to it, have fun with it. And we hope that whether it's here at Dojo Ministries or, for example, at Noah and Shepard, and also Radiance Journeys, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu studio that they train at, if you go join them, awesome. If you go to a Muay Thai gym or a boxing gym after this, awesome. If you roll with us, cool. If it's the last time you do martial arts, hopefully you still take something home with you. Okay? So, any questions about kind of what we're getting into as we get into this. All right, cool. So that being said, as we train, go. This is not Cobra Kai, high intensity, old school karate kid where you got to break your hand in order to get a black belt. All right. No one needs to get hurt today. That's why we're using these rubber trainers. All right. They're fun. They're plastic. They don't really hurt that much. All right. You have to try to hurt someone with it. Please don't try to hurt someone with it. All right. So we're gonna keep it safe. We do have two different models that we're using today. We're using flashlight. We're using training knife. Okay. Now, at this point, what I'd like you guys to do, I want you to either grab a training knife or a flashlight for you to use for the seminar today. Don't get attached to it because you'll probably swap with people today. Okay. So if you can have everyone go ahead and grab a training knife or a flashlight. So getting into it today, I'll try to hammer about other stuff. So today we are covering what's called weapons-based striking. This comes from my primary art, Filipino martial arts. Right? We are using weapons today because the foundation of what we're learning is from whatever tool we have. Primarily, we're using a knife, when you guys have a flashlight. Now, reason why we're starting off with weapons. Some people might think, well, what if I don't carry a weapon? What if I'm not comfortable with one? What if I'm going to Disneyland or an airport and I can't have all the fun toys with me? I get it. If I don't like going to those places, right? When we learn how to use these tools, they are training the hand. Everything we're doing today with a weapon translates to your empty hand skill. And we'll go into detail that later on. But I want you guys to see, we start with the weapon because that way these angles of attacks that you learn translate to other things. I say to the dojo ministry all the time, techniques teach principles. And when you understand the principles, you understand the sounds and techniques, right? The knife or the flashlight is gonna teach you the technique that teaches you the principle. And once you understand the principle, you can swap this out for whatever you want, right? Everything you're doing with a knife today, you can do with a flashlight, right? It's just an impact weapon rather than an edge and pointed weapon, right? Everything you do with a knife, the flashlight today, you can swap it out for a pen, right? Like you have training pens here, right? Everything you do, you can swap out for a screwdriver, hammer. We're using a conventional straight blade knife here. My friend Rachel over here, she's learning the karate because I got her one birthday present. Everything we're doing here, she can do with this, right? She's got the added bonus of having the ring so she can fidget when she's bored. Don't do that with a live blade, right? So, you can do that with a hammer. We learn it from a stick. We learn from the stick first. The stick teaches us the sword. It teaches us the knife. All right, you can still do everything with the weapons. Flexible weapons, right? This is the number one angle that we're teaching you. First thing striking going to teach you. Same thing right here. Get your Indiana Jones on, right? So, if you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to have a weapon with me, right? Okay, empty hands still work. We'll show you that. This is the same technique as this, as this, as this, all right? So, we're teaching you those angles, those principles, and we just start here. Because that way you know how to use this. A lot of people are like, oh, use an improvised weapon. Well, if you don't know how to use a normal weapon to begin with, you don't know what to improvise. So we're laying the foundation for you to improvise. Okay? Any questions so far? Cool. All right, so let me go ahead and have you guys all spread out. You don't want to get crunched up and smack each other by accident. We have the whole room. You don't have to switch over here. I promise you're allowed to use the space over here, okay? So let me go ahead and have you guys spread out. Now, first off, when you are holding your tool today, right, whatever weapon you're using, we're going to work with what's called a reverse grip or an ice pick grip. Ice pick because, if you're using an ice pick, you usually use it in this grip here, where the main impact point is protruding from the pinky side of your hand. So if you have your flashlight, if for example, you have a flashlight, they call it tactical because the button's on the butt end here. That way the light part is coming from the bottom. That way you can do that number, all right? And it's easy to work it, and you can still strike from this position. The knife is going to work from the blade pointing out from the bottom. Now, what's the knife work? Right? We are primarily going to work with a position that's called point down or reverse grip, edge out. All right? So this little curve on your blade here is where your hand should go, right here. That being said, you can also work with edge in, where it turns more into a claw. All right? This will also, all the techniques also translate to forward grip or saber grip, where the knife is coming from some side, edge out, and that's conventional knife fighting. This is how you use your kitchen knife, right? If you're using your kitchen knife like this, you're probably being like me, you're a dork, people think you're weird. Get at it, right? And likewise, there are systems that teach edge in, point up. And there's specific techniques that work with that, right? We will have a Q&A session at the end where you guys can ask questions. Again, I'm fire hosting you with the basics, and then throughout the seminar, ask questions, and if it's a good enough question, we'll get everyone in on it. Afterwards, also, we can, if you like, what's this? How does that work? And how do you translate it with what we do? I'll show you that later on, okay? So, in terms of gripping a weapon, actually, before that, let's go ahead, find a partner, someone who's not on the ministry team, or on the dojo team for today. That way, you have someone to work with today. We're gonna partner up with people. Again, backyard training. You're also learning how to teach people these techniques. And likewise, you're learning in such a way you don't need focus mitts or pads or anything. Okay, so quickly find a partner so that way we can work together. Find a partner in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure you have a partner. Make sure you're nice to your partner, because whatever you're doing to them, they're doing back to you. Okay? And make sure you check in with them. Make sure you're working at a pace they can work with as well. Okay? So, Noah, if I can borrow you real quick. So, first, gripping a weapon. We're actually not going to grip you right at this moment, because I want to show you guys something. All right? I want you to pick a partner A. I'll be partner A at the moment, and a partner B. All right? So, partner A is just going to go first. Right? I want partner A, partner B, you're going to stick your arm out like this and you try to shake their hand. Right? Actually, go ahead. You're going to go for a handshake, okay? Now, what I want you to do, when you're grabbing a weapon, you're essentially making a fist, right? Most people, when they make a fist, all they do is like they're shaking someone's hand. They just go roll all the fingers at the same time and try to squeeze, right? So we're here, we're shaking hands, and we just squeeze. All 4 fingers going at the same time, all right? Now, here's what I want you to do. Watch my hands very closely. We're going to start with the pinky. We're going to roll our grip into a fist. Now, do that while you shake hands and see if you can tell the difference. Roll that pinky into the fist. All right? If someone's like, I'm not getting it, neither is my partner, raise your hand, we'll come by and show you. All right? So the thing, right? We're here, we're shaking hands. If he just goes all 4 fingers, right? If I go roll, you can feel the difference there, right? So go ahead, shaking hands, right? If I just go all 4 fingers, right? If I roll my pinky, much tighter, right? All right, here, shaking hands. Hey, what's up? Right? If I go 4 fingers, pinky. You guys should notice a difference in grip and how tight that feels around your hand, right? What's the proper way to hold a knife? Tight, all right? What's the proper way to hold whatever you're using? Tight, all right? Now, when you do this, you don't have to desk grip it the whole time. By doing this, you naturally use the mechanics of your body to create a tight grip, and that way you can be firm but relaxed. You should not be hulking out the whole time you're fighting, all right? You actually want to be loose and relaxed, but you still want to have a good grip here, all right? Fun historical facts, when samurais, right, you wonder why the Yakuza guys, they cut the pinkies off? Because back then, when you're sword fighting, if you lose your pinky, you lose a lot of your grip. So the guys who were loyal, they had to stay loyal because the strongest guy was their leader who had all 10 fingers, right? So the guys with 9 or 8 fingers, we're good, right? But we're not as strong. That pinky's important. Start there. When you're gripping, right? If you have a flashlight, you're gonna have the light end at the butt end, grip towards where the light comes out, the bulb comes out. roll, and then have that space here where you can put your thumb. Right? For the flashlight, that's so you can blind people, right? Because sometimes for a self-defense situation, that's all it's going to take. Right? Noah's over here, like giving me a hard time, I just bang. That's gone. Right? I aim for his t-shirt rather than eyes because I still need to see. You're gonna cap, you're gonna roll your grip into the flashlight there or to your tool there, cap it with your thumb. This is particularly important for your blades, right? Because not every blade is built so that way it has that little guard there to keep your hand from sliding up. Right? Most modern pocket knives are tools rather than weapons, like this one here, even though this is a tactical knife model. You see how close the edge is to the handle? If I don't cap my thumb there, I do that. I don't want to do that to myself. I want to do it to the other guy. Okay? Don't use the people opener on the wrong people, including yourself. All right? So, roll your hand there, tap it with your thumb, and from there, you can relax it a little bit and you're loose. Okay? So, make sure you have that and you're curled in and you're loose. Okay? Your stance. All right? Go ahead. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Now, everything we're doing today works from what's called an orthodox boxing stance, in which your left foot is forward, your right foot is back. Left hand near your cheek here, right hand near your cheek here. Everything works from this position, right? Elbows near the ribs here, so you can check those as well. And everything that we teach today works from a southpaw position. Pacquiao fans? Right? Anybody? Right? Or at least you saw Mayweather fight him? Right? This is how Pacquiao fights. Southpaw with this forward. While Filipino martial arts will teach both for different reasons. With the weapon hand forward, it's mainly weapon on weapon. Noah and I are working here, right? He's got a knife, I want a knife. I got a knife. I want him to deal with my knife. Right? This is a great way to make him deal with my knife. If I'm back here, I'm dealing with his knife, he's not dealing with mine. Right? If it's empty hand and if he doesn't have a tool and he's just a guy on the street and I have my flashlight, reason why people don't carry a tool on them is they're worried this can be taken away, right? So that's when we go orthodox and we keep the tool in the back, right? We'll keep it here in a boxing stance, or even some people keep it down here and low, all right? So both ways work, all right? So you've curled your fingers, you cap your thumb, your stance, you're either going to take one natural step forward with your left foot, or you're going to take one natural stance forward with your right foot. Okay? Now, once you're here, you're going to give a nice bend to your knees. You're going to lift your toes. You don't high heel it, all right? You're not a runway model. Bring it down, just get your heels off the ground so you can actually bounce a little bit, all right? That way, you can fight and you're quick, or you can run and you're not planting. All right? So that's the stance you're going to work. So, and it's either orthodox or southpaw. All right? So it's either, another way to think of it, you're either your weapons back or your weapons forward. By the way, we're primarily going to work with your dominant hand today. Right? Your weapon's going to stay in your dominant hand. Everything we're doing today works with both hands. Right? Filipino martial arts, we love dual wielding. Because we have a left hand, use it. Right? And likewise, we'll teach our other hand to get involved. Now, we will use our non-dominant hand when it comes to the weapon. If you're me and you're a dork and you carry like 15 defensive tools on you, yes, then yeah, it's a good idea to keep, know which hand you're going to use, or which is your dominant hand, and focus on that. If you're not, or it's like, if you have multiple tools, yeah, use both hands. If you don't, just one, right? And that's going to depend on your context. Again, we're laying the foundation. How you build on that foundation later on, that depends on you, right? So, we're forward, we're back. Allison? Yep. Now, from here, we have our stance, we have our grip, all right? Our hands are up here. When it comes to producing power, all right? How many of you've tried to punch something? Maybe you've tried to break a board, right? Or you've seen the guys breaking a board and you think, I can't do that. I don't have that kind of power behind me, right? I've been there. I'm going to show you a foundational secret to teach you to produce that power, all right? This is an exercise I call hip punching, right? So even in the stance here, you can still do this hip punching. This is what you're gonna do later. We're gonna start here with our feet shoulder width apart, right? Now, hip punching, we're gonna get our heels off the ground. And what we're gonna do with the tool in our hand, we're actually gonna place our non-dominant hand behind it. Or Dean, with yours, you can go ahead, just plant it right here. We're gonna get these elbows up high, making kind of like a chicken wing right here. And what I want you to do, take it with my legs here. Yes, the yellow stripe is cool, but it's functional for what you're gonna see here. Hip punching is I'm going to lead with my hip and punch it forward so that this yellow stripe is pointing forward, right? When Jesus said turn the other cheek, this isn't what he meant. We're gonna do it anyway, all right? And now you're gonna remember that, right? So when we're here, we're hip punching. If I'm with my right side, this is my right, I'm turning, right? Guys, like when you wear a suit, it's like, what's up? Ladies, it's like, this dress has pockets, right? That's what you're doing, right? And you're turning. Notice as I turn my hip, my shoulders, I didn't mean to move them, they moved, all right? So we're right here. We're gonna bring the weapon right here. We're gonna squeeze it to our chest, right? Elbows are flared, and we're gonna turn. Right hip forward, left hip forward. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Now somebody's like, this is weird, what are we doing? Many things, right? When you're punching, which is basically what we're doing on weapons-based boxing, is basically boxing with a weapon, right? To produce a powerful punch, you want to use all of you to punch, right? Let's say I'm working with Noah here again, right? Noah's like 230 on 170, right? He's heavier than me. He's going to punch harder than me. But if I have better technique, then I can punch just as hard as Noah in some cases, all right? So let's look at it from this standpoint. A lot of people, if you're punching or you're slapping, people are just looking at using the arm, right? So if I don't move the rest of my body, right, the stripe's staying right there, and I try to slap the sit out of it as hard as I can, I'm trying to use the rest of my body. That's what's happening, right? Bruce Lee's one-inch punch used the same principle. I've been swinging from back here trying to get power. Right here, I'm going to turn my hip. You see the difference? Here's the difference. All right? And when I have that orthodox stance and I actually put some oomph into it. All right? Now, for you guys to feel this, I want you to have partner A, partner B, right? What I want you guys to do is have this hip punching position here. Put your right hands together, right? Go ahead, partner A, both partners, hands together like so. If you don't have a partner, find one of the team to work with you. All right? Now, partner A, I want you to push, but don't move the body. Just move the arm. Try to push. All right? All right. Partner B, you push. Don't use the body, just push with the arm. Right? Good. You're just using the arm. Now, what I want you to do, don't intentionally move your arm. Punch with partner A. Just move your hip forward. You hear that? Whoa, right? Whoa. Where'd that come from? I'm 170 pounds. If I'm pushing with my hand, I may be getting 20 pounds in this. Here, all 170 pounds. Right? If Noah's pushing and he turns his hip into it, right? You see the difference. I'm putting all of my body weight into this. Right? You see, right? Mr. Dean over here, he's quite a bit heavier than Mari, but she can still push him a little bit at least with this principle. Okay? So that's how we're going to produce power. All right. So you guys see that principle? We have our stance. We have our ability to produce power. Now we're going to actually get into the striking stuff. Okay? So we're going to teach you 6 basic strikes today, and everything you're learning today comes from these 6 basic strikes. All right? I'm going to mainly work from a weapons forward position because that's where I naturally work. All right? If you want to work from a weapons back position, you can work from there too. All right? So with everyone facing forward, what I want you to do, we're facing forward, hands are up in a boxing position. By the way, this is boxing position. I call it that because even without a weapon, I'm now just boxing. All right? With a weapon, I'm boxing with some belt. All right. So when we're here, our first two attacks are our forehand and backhand. Some people call this a caveman strike, right? If you see videos of people fighting in the streets, or you see someone being a Karen and hitting someone, this is what they're trying to do, and they're being very bad at it, right? We're gonna make you good at it. When you're striking, if you have the knife or the flashlight, the end point is what's making contact. I'm gonna draw basically an X in front of me. It's going to be a forehand from our same side, striking towards the center, and then striking towards the center, right? If, actually, on it, is a little shorter so this works, right? If on is my target right here, I'm aiming basically for both his ears, right? Ear, ear, right? Ear or temple, right? Or I'm hitting both shoulders right here. Shoulder, shoulder, right? So, I want you to partner up. Partner A, I just want you to go real quick 5 times. You're going to produce the strike, and I want you to turn your hips as you strike, all right? Partner B, just stand there and trust your partner. Partner A, don't hurt your partner, okay? You're just going to do this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Our next 2 strikes. In boxing, this is a classic hook strike, and then you're going to have a back fist, but we're going to learn it from the weapon, right? So first time, you're kind of dropping the point of the knife onto your target. You're dropping the flashlight onto your target. Our next strike is going to be hook and back fist. The first one, with our reverse grip position, is a slash, and then it's a backhand thrust, all right? So slash and backhand thrust. If you're using the flashlight, you can use the butt end here, and then the other butt end here, or you can just use the light portion, straight and strike, straight and strike. Right? You're gonna think, go ahead, think left to right. If you want to aim high, you're gonna go shoulder to shoulder. All right? Across the shoulders and back across the shoulders. So across the shoulders, back across the shoulders. Okay? So go ahead, practice that technique. Try to get at least 3 rounds in of both those techniques. And to do that, go back to your 1 and 2. And go. All right, so we have our forehand, our backhand, our hook, our back fist. Next, we're going to do our uppercut. Now, the hip motion with that, you kind of dig in and turn. Think of it, you're trying to, if you're helping someone zip up their jacket, that's what you're doing here. Zip. It's a very violent zip, right? Same thing with the flashlight. You're going to either scrape up with the flashlight head, or you can use the butt end and pop them in the chin there, all right? Anyone ever see like a deer get quartered? No, just me, because I'm a nerd like that watching Meat Eater. Okay. When, or you've gutted a fish, you're gutting the fish, all right? Shepherd, we're here, and you go right here, all the way up. Anything from between his legs to over his head, that's what we're trying to cut. All the guys just cringe, good, right? We're here, we're cutting all the way up to the chin, right? Or we're using the butt end here, right? Again, this works foregrip as well, and we're going up like so. Flashlight, we're going to primarily kind of scrape up and hit with the edge on the chin, but we're going to use the butt end to scrape up here. Once we do that uppercut, then we're going to do our straight, which is your conventional jab or cross, all right? So for a jab or cross, we're calling it a straight punch because it's going in a straight line, right? From this boxing position here, I'm aiming straight for his nose, all right? This is going to be short strike right here. Poke. Poke. All right? Or with the flashlight, poke. Think of it. You ever see cats with like a laser pointer? I'm going to be the cat and the laser pointer. Light. Touch. Light. Touch. Right? The knife, keep the tip pointing towards the opponent, and poke. Poke. All right? So putting them together, cut, poke. Cut, poke. Cut, poke. Go ahead, run that with your partner for a couple sets.
We don't go back now?
Huh?
So to go once and then forward.
So good question. So real quick, do we go back up, back, or back down? In a sense, that's your number one strike. With Filipino martial arts, we're teaching you right now 6 basic strikes. In my system, we start with 6, we go to 12, then we go to 24. All right? We're starting at 6 and staying there. For our purposes, our number one strike is anything, if there's a clock in front of me, right? If there's a clock in front of you, anything between 12 and 3 o'clock, if it's going like this, is our number one strike. So 12 to the middle or to the 6 o'clock, that's still number one. From 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, that's still our number one. So long as we haven't hit number 3, right, or even our number 3 strike to the center with the blade point going in, that's still number one. Number 2, from 12 to 6 here, or 11 to 4, or 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock over here, still this range is number 2. Reason being, I don't want to confuse you guys, all right? Like anything here, if it goes down, it's 1 or 2, right? If it's coming from our 6 o'clock position, from 6 o'clock going to 12, that's our uppercut. If it's going straight to the center of the clock, that's our straight. If it's going from 3 to 9, it's our hook. Our 9 to 3 is our back fist. Okay? So, reason being, again, Combatives primer. We're giving you the basics for right now, right? Because I can teach you so many strikes from that one position, right? Which we'll get to in a second. But for right now, going back to our uppercut and our straight, okay? It's from that. If that we're using that clock method, we're going from the 6 o'clock to the center or to 12 o'clock position, and we're going straight to the middle of the clock. For you Gen Z kids who don't know how to read an analog clock, the little thing in the middle where the hands meet, that's what you're hitting, okay? Us millennials and boomers, we know what we're talking about, okay? So, let's go ahead real quick. Let's walk through the techniques that we just learned. So we learned 6 techniques. Right. So right here in our stance, whichever one it is, if it's forward or back, right? We have our forehand, our backhand, our hook, back fist, uppercut, straight. One more time. Forehand, backhand, hook, back fist, uppercut, straight. And again. Forehand, backhand, hook, back fist, uppercut, straight. Good. Now, math question for you guys. How many techniques have I taught you? Who says 6? If you're in dojo, don't give it away. Allison, how many techniques did I teach you just now? 5? Okay, maybe. Who? 6? Johnny, how many?
I'm just gonna say 6.
6? More. How many do you think if it's more than 6, how many? Very shy. Rachel, what do you say? How many techniques have I taught you guys?
Most like 20.
Huh?
20?
20? Getting there. Mr. Dean, how many techniques have I taught you?
7.
7? Okay. The correct answer is yes. Right? Techniques teach principles. You understand the principle, you understand 1,000 techniques. Right? Let me just take this number 1 strike. Right now, I have taught you a number 1 strike using a reverse grip weapon. Right? Specifically a knife. That's 1. Right? Let's switch it up. Flashlight. That's another technique. What else I got? Oh, by the way, we learned this from a stick. That's 1 technique. You know, get the rope out. Get your Indiana Jones on. That's 1 technique. Law enforcement, military guys. You get your John Wick on. You run out of ammo. You can't do the full reload thing. That's 1. Switch back to the knife. That's 1. My favorite tool in Filipino martial arts, the karambit knife. Don't worry, it's fake, right? That's still a number 1 technique. But Vince, what if you don't have any tools on you? Okay. Hammer fist, using the bottom of the hand here. That's a technique. Using the forearm. That's a technique. Using the elbow. That's a technique. All right? With your feet, yeah, the high roundhouse kick. That's a number one angle. I'm just filling it in with a different technique. This is why I love Filipino martial arts. You learn one thing, but when you understand the angle and you understand the mechanics of different techniques, different tools you're working with, you just fill that angle in with whatever techniques you want. That was 1 of 6. I ran into like 10 weapons right there. You apply that to every other technique, right? That's 60 techniques. By the way, that's with the right hand. Do it with your left hand. It's 120 techniques, right? Keep changing up the weapons. By the way, those are all offensive techniques, right? Shepard's over here. He wants to punch me in the face, right? That's still a number 1, right? He's trying to slap me. That's still a number 1, right? Oh, by the way, open hand, right? He tries to strike. I go here, bam, that's still number 1. What if I'm tying my shoe and Shepard tries to run up on me, right? I've been teaching you to target the ear. Aim for the arm. Do everything that I just taught you on the ear to the arm. That's still number 1. I'm right here to the knee. That's still number 1, right? I'm over here. Boom. Shepard's going to join Dean over there with the cast, right? That's still number 1. So you just keep they change the target, it's still the same technique, right? So again, that's why we're priming you for learning more techniques by teaching you the weapon, and by teaching you the weapon, you start to learn other weapons. By learning other weapons, you learn anti-hand applications, right? And now we have offensive, we have defensive. By the way, when I had you doing this number earlier, right? Shepard grabs my wrist. That's number 1. Grabs with the other hand, right? That's number 1. Right? And I can just break his grip here, or if he's going to grab me, I'm going to grab back. Number 1. Now we're getting into jiu-jitsu, right? And I go here, number 1. We're going to start learning to use the other hand here, right? I grab Shepard here, I grab him here, and I just move him this way. That's still number 1 angle. Number 2 angle. Now he's dizzy, right? I go here, number 1 angle, I'm going to introduce him to my knee. Bam. Still number 1, I just added a knee technique. Add a knee to everything you do. Now you have how many more techniques? I lost count. Shepard's being a Kevin instead of a Karen. He's pointing his finger in my face like this, right? I don't like it. His finger is my knife. I'm going to manipulate it. 1. Right? And now it's pain compliance. I go here, I can let him stand up. I go here, I can tell him to go to his knees. I can tell him to walk like a dog. Right? I can tell him to get up. I can tell him to get down. I'm still just using number 1 angle, right? I go here, and now he's just a circus act, right? I go number 1, or I go here, right? Number 2 is left-handed. Now we're grappling. And then now I can do more fun stuff. Jiu-jitsu, do that tomorrow. What are you doing then? Get up. Right? So, techniques teach principles. When you understand the principle, you understand the styles and techniques. So when you're doing these techniques, understand we're just starting here. This is day 1 stuff that you're learning to teach you, get into day 1,000. All right? So, just want to open your guys' eyes to that because you're learning just the basic technique. And once we got the basic technique down, we can go on to other things. Okay? So, going back to these techniques here. So, we learned our number 1, number 2 angle. Now, initially when we're learning these techniques, you're kind of just tapping your target. Now we're going to follow through, all right? So when we strike this time with our number 1, I want you to strike and emphasize going all the way through your target, coming up for your next technique. Notice we did 3 pairs. Our forehand, backhand, our hook, reverse hook, our uppercut, straight. All of them work together naturally, right? And that's why they're paired together the way they are. So your first technique is drawing an X, right? Let's say Shepard and I are sparring. Let's act like he had headgear on. And I want him to back up. I can just do this all day, all day, all day. He knows it's a rubber knife. He's still backing up, right? Because I can put the technique together and flow with it. Right here, bam, 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 bam. He has a slash and a jab that he's worried about. I come up here, and then I can follow here. So, what I want you to do with your partner, you're gonna have one partner be a scarecrow, right? I just want you to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, then you switch. Shepherd's gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we're gonna go 3 and 4. All right, scarecrow again. Use his hands as a guide. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? First, we were just jabbing right here, but now we're going here and here. All right? Then we're gonna go here and flow into this strike here. Here and flow. Now, reason we're doing this follow through, right? Yes, it's making sure you can flow some techniques, but then it starts teaching us other things. Let's say I go and I strike and Shepherd blocks with his left hand here. If I just stop here, I gotta reset and keep going. What if I do this? Right? The stiff blade here, you'll see it more. He blocks. We love to do this in Filipino martial arts. I'm gonna hook with this blade here and capture him. And then I can either clear this hand, get out of the way, clear my next shot, or I can go here and grab it in. By the way, make your empty hand and he grabs his hand, right? I'm gonna keep pushing through and I can break his grip like so, right? So when you're following through, you can either lock in and grab, or you can break through a block or a grab, okay? So that's what you're learning. Again, that's the technique is following through with your whatever strike you're doing. The application is whatever it needs to be with that angle, okay? Any questions so far? All right, so partner A, partner B, swap back and forth being scarecrows. Follow through, flow with those strikes, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. Go. All right, so next.
Like this? Boom.
So just a little tidbit. One of my favorite things to do, like Noah and I will spar sometimes with sticks. We'll use foam sticks. I like to do a number 2, or what we call, this combo is called a doblete. Double, right? And I'll just go 1, 2, 3. All right? And I'm just going from one side and continue striking, right? And I'm just gonna go, if I go 1, and I'm just circling and cycling this technique. So we're gonna do that with our tool here, right? So, going through 1 through 6, so we've gone at pairing them. Now what I want you to do is cycle that one technique, cycle your number 2, cycle your hook, cycle your back fist, cycle your uppercut, cycle your jab or your straight, okay? And again, sometimes if you get a good shot on someone, you'll see this in combat sports like UFC all the time. If they get a good shot somewhere, oftentimes the opponent's stunned and they leave it open. So they'll just keep hitting that spot, right? If you want to forge metal, you don't hit a different spot every time. You find one spot, you keep hitting it, all right? In the same manner, if we're here, Shepherd and I are fighting, right? Maybe I see that he has a blind spot over here. I'm just going to keep going, bam, 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 okay? Or I see number 2 and I go, bam, bam, bam. All right? So, go ahead. This next iteration of drills, go ahead with your partner. Cycle your number 1 strike 3 to 5 times, and then let your partner cycle 3 to 5 times with that number 1 strike, okay? So, Shepherd and I will be here, and I'm just going to go bam, 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 and then Shepherd's turn. Bam, bam, bam. Then I go number 2. Boom, boom, boom. 2, boom, boom, boom. And 3, and so on. Okay? So go ahead, cycle those techniques with your partner. Go. As I told you guys earlier, the weapons are going to teach the hands, all right? So we're going to take turns with your partner. Go. Especially with those who are working with a knife, switch your grip around and practice the same techniques, right? But with your grip forward, right? Flashlight, maybe you hit with the butt end wrapping the flashlight in, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Likewise, empty hand, right? Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hammer fist, right? Hammer fist and conventional punches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Elbow techniques. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So go ahead and play around with those. Again, your foundation is from the weapon, but also use your empty hand. You have that option. Okay, so go ahead. We're just gonna play around with that so you know that's an option. Okay, so who's your partner? Actually, real quick, there's a lot of people here. Swap partners and play around with those techniques. So find someone you haven't worked with and work with them. Okay, get to know someone. All right, we're gonna go back to using our tools. Now, our non-dominant hand's been just chilling out, right? And again, everything you do with the right hand, you can do with the left. But if you had two different options and they can do two different things, why not let them do two different things, okay? So, we're gonna do a series of techniques I call the assist. FYI, these are what I call training wheel techniques. When you do these, this is not how you fight. They are giving you a foundation so that you can practice and learn the angle and the movement, and then you apply that angle and movement down the road. Okay? So, Shepard and I are right here. So I can hang there for a second. What we're gonna do, we're gonna first tap, like for example, our number 1 strike. Our left hand is gonna come behind our wrist and tap and push through into our follow through, and we're back. So we're tap here and we follow through. Tap here, follow through, right? So like we did our tapping technique, we did our cycling, right, or our follow through. So now we're going to put them together with another step in between. And we're going to assist, like think of it this way, right? I hit, it got stuck, I'm going to help it through. It hit, it got stuck, I'm going to help it through. Right? That's our 1 and 2. Right? So let's go ahead and practice that 1 and 2. Everyone facing forward over here, facing this way. When we're here, we strike. Remember, we get our hip punching in there. We turn our hip. We do that strike. And this left hand is going to come behind the wrist, right? Behind on our thumb side. And push the technique through. Our number 2 strike, we're going to tap that number 2. Come behind the wrist and push the technique through. Again, 1, push it through. 2, push it through. 1, push it through. 2, push it through. All right? Now, this motion right here, right? At first, we're have the techniques together. Then we're going to do them separately and at separate times. Here's what this hand is learning to do. It's assisting in some way, shape, or form. Right? And it's likewise our defense. He's like, Pastor Vince, you haven't taught us any defense. Now I have. Shepard does the number 1 strike. Pause there. If I do number 1 strike, I'm here, right? And I'm catching the wrist, my own wrist. I'm going to take my hand out of the equation. Go back to number 1 strike. That's your defense, right? Now, honestly, a lot of guys are going to tell you not to face the inside of your hand towards the knife. So I can translate it to using my forearm, which we just practiced, right? Did you see Shepard's face limps right there? Don't worry, his mom said I could do it, so I did it. All right? So when we're here, I do this assist motion on his attack, right? And I can catch his hand there. I'm aiming for his wrist. How do I know I'm aiming for his wrist? Because I was aiming for mine, right? That's why it's a training wheel technique. When you're on a bike and you have training wheels, that's not how you actually ride a bike, but it gives you the foundation to ride a bike. So yes, a very direct application is I go here when it's acting independently. Once they're acting together, right? He strikes, I can go here at the same time because I know I can do this at the same time. What if I lead with this hand, right? Shepard's here, he's got tight guard, he has his hand up here, right? If I want to get that number 1 strike in, but his hand's in the way, assist and strike. Right here. Assist and strike. What if I follow up, right? Let's say Shepard reached out with his hand. I went number 1, and I go here, right? It's like, hey, I hit you. I'll put a Band-Aid on it, right? When I'm doing this first application here, I'm doing what's called trapping. You see this in Wing Chun, you see this in Filipino martial arts, and Silat, Indonesian martial arts. And you also see this in boxing, all right? Guys are picking this up, or I'll clear the hand, and I'll get the strike in, or I'll jam this hand to clear the way for the strike. Shepard, do something with his hand. It's gonna take us some time, right? But I got this one right. When I strike, right? Maybe I'll strike, and then Shepard's following up with his hand. I'll check this hand. I'll keep it in check, right? Think of checking here, right? Back with, a bunch of kids here right now. Mama said, don't do something. You said, okay, I won't do it. Mom turns around, and then she checks to make sure you didn't do the thing that you're about to do, right? Hey, don't move that hand. You move that hand, right? What I say about moving that hand, that's what you're learning from this, right? So, this assist technique right here, 1 and 2, go ahead, do that a couple times with your partner. We'll move on to the next techniques after that. Go. You're going to do your hook and your back fist, all right? You're assisting with the hook. You're going to catch this hook in your hand over here. Think of it, you swung, and you're like, oh no, I swung too far, I'm going to hit myself. Catch yourself, all right? And then you're going to push it away. Swing in and catch, push it away. Again, the defense for this. Noah does a hook. Catch. He does a back fist. Push. Right? That's the defense. Now, again, I'm using my hand here so I can work on my marksmanship and accuracy. I can also go karate about to block with the forearm. Right? So he hooks. Bam. He back fist. Bam. Right? Again, any technique I teach you is a placeholder for any other technique you need to fill in there. Just what angle and mechanic works in this, angle here, right? So, if he does these, caveman strikes, bare hands, 1, 2, he hooks, he back fists, okay? You're learning your defense. Likewise, I come in here and I want to strike. He blocks, and I can come in either behind, right? Clear, or if his guard's up, I can here for our hook. Again, we're here. I'm gonna push and hook. I'm gonna push and back fist. Right? So again, if I get a good guard, then I need to clear that guard to go here. And likewise, you could. Anything the left hand does, the right hand can do. Anything the right hand does, the left hand can do. Anything I do with my empty hand, I can do with a knife. Right? So I could do the number 1 assist and number 1 strike off the left hand, or off the right hand. He strikes number 1 empty hand, assist, right? Or this assist motion, and I strike here. Right? So I can block off the assist, and then I can come in number 1, or I can assist and go into the number 2 strike. That's what you guys are learning when you put this assist into your arsenal of techniques. You are assisting these strikes. You're supplementing them, right? JR and Sharon are married over here. JR does something, Sharon supports. Sharon does something, JR supports, right? Jeff and Rachel, perfect example over here. Jeff is taking point on filming, Rachel's helping out. Rachel's kind of running the camera, Jeff's supporting there too, right? I'm not just teaching you nice stuff, I'm teaching you life stuff. Yes, you're right, okay? So go ahead, hook, back fist, catching that hook, and pushing that back fist. Go. Okay, so you have your forehand, backhand with assist, you have your hook and your back fist with assist, you have your uppercut and your straight with assist. Now the uppercut's interesting. You have 2, all right? First, you're gonna catch it. You're gonna uppercut into your hand right here. You're gonna push down and come right here. All right, so you're gonna catch your uppercut on the way in, and then you're gonna come underneath and push it through. So your uppercut has 2 that work together. Catch it and then push it through. Catch it and then push it through. Once this is pushed through, you're straight, you're jabbing in, and you're coming behind your wrist again, right here. Now, you come behind the wrist, maybe you're kind of going more over top, right here. Okay? So you push through and you're over top. Push through and you're over top. Push through and you're over top. Right? Catch, push, over the top. Catch, push, over the top. Catch, push, over the top. Alright? Go ahead, run down with the partner. Go. So, the application for this, just so you understand, because it's kind of weird, but then when you see it in action, it's like, okay, it makes sense. If Han is coming here and he's trying to, go ahead, forward grip, and he's trying to do a uppercut thrust, right? If I can't get out of the way, we'll do evasion in a little bit, right? But if I'm here, I'm stopping it here, right? So that's what the assist is first, is I'm stopping it here. You can either catch it on the wrist, or you can bring your forearms down onto his wrist to block it, right? So, and if you do that, sometimes you'll knock the knife out of the hand because it cause some damage to the nerve there, right? So you just shock the hand from coming up. This, if you ask any military, law enforcement guy, this is the most terrifying strike if someone has a knife, right? So I want to go in and strike. In Filipino martial arts, a more common term for Filipino martial arts is called Kali. We're not talking about the Hindu goddess, all right? I'm Christian here, all right? Kali, K-A-L-I, comes from two Filipino words. Kamot, which means to strike, the hook, which means movement. So you can essentially say Filipino martial arts, if we call it Kali, it's strike, movement. We're moving to strike. Our defense is to be more offensive than this guy, all right? I could do that assist with the knife here. Han is coming in with the number on a hook, and I can cut down right here. Now here's the thing, he's putting a lot of power into this. Anyone ever chip their kitchen knife, right? And you feel super sad, especially the expensive ones, right? Because those are meant to cut smoothly. They're not meant to impact, right? So I could come down here and impact like so, but I'm probably gonna block first and impact like so. All right. Again, the left hand and right hand can do the same thing. I just teach you can do two different ways. But primarily, right? If Han he's going in for he's trying to help me out with my Swiss cheese impersonation. Someone catch that? Okay. He grabs me right here and he's trying to jab, right? Or uppercut. I'm coming in right here and I'm blocking, right? Because again, I like cheddar more than Swiss cheese. I don't want to impersonate Swiss cheese. Someone's like, what are you doing? I'm keeping the violence family friendly. Okay. He's coming in, bam. That's the assist there. Now let's say I'm detached and I have a little bit of time to react. Here. And Han is going again for that uppercut right here. That's the lift right there. Again, get out of the way and ensure that it goes somewhere else other than towards me. All right? Mr. Miyagi, best defense, don't be there. Right? If he wants to cut me here, I don't want to be there. All right? Especially the uppercut. It's really going to be close right here. I'm going to slap it away right here. For jab, if it's coming forward, right? I'm going to slap down, and usually I'm going to back up with it too. All right? So if it's coming at me, ideally I slap it down here. Right? And that's what this going over the top is. Again, I'm aiming for the wrist because I don't want to slap it when he comes in. I don't want to slap the knife. Right? I'm doing his job for him. All right? No, he does the work, not me. He comes in, jabs, right? I'm going to slap down on the wrist and slap that away. So that's the defensive application with these assist techniques. Okay? Any questions so far? Now, again, let's go ahead, put all these assist techniques together. All right? So we're here. We go 1, and assist. 2, and assist. Hook, catch it, push it away, back fist. Uppercut, catch it, send it through, over top of the jab. Good. Again, we're here. 1, assist. 2, assist. 3, catch it. 4, push it away. 5, catch it, send it through. And 6, that's straight punch right there. One more time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Real quick, if you bring this home and you're teaching someone, you could start there. You could teach everything I just taught you and start with teaching these assist techniques. and then you can break it apart and start teaching the individual techniques. All right? Think of it this way. All of these moves, right? The number 1 strike and its assist, the number 2 strike and its assist, are ingredients, right? Ingredients are not tied down to the recipes that you initially learned them from, right? How many ingredients use salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, heat, thyme, right? That's like every barbecue recipe, right? And then it's like, okay, with bacon, all right? Different kinds of wood. Do I want to use charcoal or gas? Do I want to cook beef, pork? What kind of cut do I want to use? They're all just different ingredients, and then I can take the ingredients and use them somewhere else, right? And again, I'm teaching you these assists with their particular techniques, so you know you have a pair. You have 6 basic strikes. You have an assist technique for all of them, and then your uppercut has an additional 1. So you have 6 basic strikes, 7 assist strikes, and those can be offensive or defensive, left hand or right hand, with whatever weapon you're using or not using, right? So again, you learn the technique, understand the principle, you understand the sound techniques. If you understand how salt works, then you understand how to use it on beef, on pork, on ice cream, and cookies, right? I use salt at I was cooking this past week, I used it on 15 different items, differently. I can use the same salt or different salt, right? It's just all salt. If I understand salt, then I have a broader variety of how to use it. Which is why in the Bible when it says, when salt loses its saltiness, it's just thrown out. Salt has so many uses. Each of these is just a different kind of salt. Learn how it's used, and then you can apply it to different techniques, okay? So, you did that, you did the assist techniques there, all right? And again, you can take that home and you can teach someone. Now, we're gonna start putting it together so that you can start using it with your partner. So I want you to do, first we're gonna do some applications. This is what we call a system 1 in my martial art, Combatant Arnis, all right? So, Hanu is gonna come in and he's gonna do a number 1 strike. I'm gonna assist or block 1 and do my number 1 strike. He's gonna come in number 2, and a block. He hooks, right? Boom. Our number 1 system is offense and defense simultaneously. So as I block and I assist, I do defense, right? And I can target the head, I can target the hand, right? Actually, for safety purposes, aim for the shoulders, all right? I don't want to send him home ugly. I don't want to hear from his mama about that, okay? I'm already ugly, so get my face while you watch. Okay, so you back fist, right? Back fist, I can back fist, immediate back fist, and block here. It's the same technique as right here. I just broke him up like Taylor Swift and her next-boyfriend, right? Whoa, I said it, all right? Uppercut, right? I can cut here, or uppercut, and then I follow up with my uppercut. And then straight. Boom. Alright? So go ahead, partner A, feed the attacks. When you're feeding someone, right? You're giving it to them so they can enjoy it. You don't shove it down their throat. So feed and let them do technique. Feed and let them do technique. So as I feed 1, Hanu's gonna assist and number 1. Feed 2, he'll catch, and there you go. Number 2 there, and here, hook, back fist with assist, uppercut, right? And then also passing it through, step back and pass it, good, and jab. Boom. All right? So go ahead, run that with your partners. Make sure you each get a chance to run that. Go. All right. So, with these assists, just a little Filipino martial arts trivia. With Filipino martial arts, we like to be sneaky. We like to sneak in whatever we can and get something extra, right? If you ever want to get a bargain on something, ask a Filipino, okay? We're just going to argue for a bargain. We're going to get what we can, all right? So, and someone's laughing, it's like, you know it's true. You know it's true, right? So Shepard's over here, right? If he strikes 1, I'm going to sneak in that strike, right? Or likewise, I can strike and follow through it, right? I can sneak in some strikes here. Number 2 particularly, right? I can either catch it here and with my assist, Or as he's coming in, I'm gonna let him catch my blade and then block. So I get a cut and a block 2 for 1 deal. Then I'm coming in here. Or he's coming in, right? He's number 2, right? Block and cut at the same time, right? This one's a little bit riskier, but like, hey, I'm gonna just think that in real quick. Right? If he hooks, I can hook here. Turn around. I can hook anywhere the hook can touch. I can take it myself, right? So I can hook and I can just get like right here on the face if I need to. I can go neck if I need to be lethal. I can go across the chest. I can go for the arm. You know what? All of it's there. I eat a lot, so I want everything I can get from this buffet. Boom. Right? I can take both arms here if I really need to, right? So he comes in with the hook, and I'll go bam, right there, as I block. Or I can go here if I want to go low, and I'll cut right there, right? I have options. He comes in with that back fist, very much like the number 2. I'll sneak in that cut as I block. I'll come in right here. With the uppercut, right? I can make this an attack as I go in for my attack, right? As he goes in again, as I come in here, catch the knee all the way up the arm, right? And I get that, and by the way, that sinks in right here. So I can catch everything up here with that strike. As he goes for the straight, I can assist off my straight, catch him here, and cycle to there to follow through there. Or, when he does the straight, I can catch, then I'll go in right here, right? That's just a little trivia or additional techniques. Again, it's, as you explore the techniques, you get more options, right? You know what salt is. How do you apply salt to these different recipes, all right? Every time he feeds me food, there's more opportunities to play with my food, all right? This is just an ingredient. How do I play with it? He's giving me opportunity to play with it, okay? So we had that. We had the assist. So now we're going to do a little bit of a game, if you will. What I want you to do is one partner who's going to feed techniques, and we're going to use these techniques independently so we can start to understand them more, all right? So as Shepherd feeds me a number 1, I'm going to block, and then I'm going to, instead of striking, I'm going to use my knife to move, right? Because what is this right here? I'm just following through, but instead of striking, I'm moving. So I strike, I assist, I block, I stop it, I'm just assisting this strike going through, and I move. He comes in number 2. I can go in here to address it, I can go in here, right? Or both at the same time, and I move. He comes in, I come here, and hook, move. Here, move. Here, move. Right? I'm just making sure it's like, okay, so now we're getting to, we're going to back and forth, right? So go ahead, feed those techniques all the way through. I'll go here. All right? Or, yeah, no, sorry, go strike, and move, and go back to number 1, and I move. All right? So go ahead, feed that number 1 through 6 to your partner. Let them assist, move, assist, move, assist, move. Okay? Any questions? FYI, if you are confused or you didn't see what I was just doing, Noah, Shepherd, Hanu, JR, myself know these techniques so we can explain them to you. So please ask questions. So don't go home confused. All right? Ask questions so you can learn these techniques. All right, go. Yeah, real quick. All right? Shepherd? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to, same thing, but we're going to add an additional move to that. All right? So he attacks, he feeds 1, I'm going to block. I'm going to attack, and then I'm going to strike, right? And that's that cycling motion that we did, right? So block, assist, or cycle, and strike. He comes in 2. Block, assist, strike. 3. Block, assist, strike. 4. Block, assist, strike. 5. Block, right? I can come in here, I can come here and push it away. Assist, strike, again, block, assist, strike, straight, block, assist, strike. So, block, assist, and then follow up with a strike, okay? If you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with your follow-up strikes, go ahead. If you want to mix it up, mix it up. Play with your food here, okay? I gave you all the ingredients, now start cooking with it. Everyone's first batch of cookies always tastes horrible, it's fine. We'll forgive you and make your next batch. So just play with your techniques right now, and just move around with them. Okay? And go. Alright guys, so as you guys saw by the title of, or what our ministry called Dojo Ministries, right? It is martial arts, dojo, and ministry, right? I say to them all the time, pursuing excellence in spirit and skill. We want you to be, we want to teach and inform your capabilities, which is all the techniques that we're doing, and your character. There's no point in teaching you martial arts if you're going to be a terrible person after that. All right? And that's why we are right now, Noah's going to come in and do a devotion for you guys, because we do devotions because we are not just going to teach you the hands, we want to inform your head and your heart. Right? I do martial arts so that I can lead others to the gospel and teach them of the greater ways you need to understand within Scripture. Right? I mean, if I had to choose between teaching you how to use a knife and teaching you how to use Scripture, only one of them is eternal. Only one of them can actually change your life for the better. Martial arts can help you have better self-control, which is great. But if you don't know why you're controlling yourself, you're going to find excuses not to. So that's why we do both, right? That's why we don't charge, because that way we can give you the gospel for free. Because the gospel is meant to be freely given, and the techniques are just going to come along with it. All right? So I'm going to hand it over to Noah for a minute, and he's got something from God's Word that he wants to share with you guys. And then afterwards, we'll continue on with our time here at Dojo Ministry. All right? Oh, you know.
All right, you guys. Well, hi, I'm Noah. I'm helping out with Vince for the Combatives primer. I'm going to be teaching you guys tomorrow some jiu-jitsu. But today I'm gonna give you guys a devotion. So today I want to talk about peace in your life. First, we got to ask ourselves, what is peace? Does anybody have a definition of what peace is? Then we hear about it in the Kung Fu Panda all the time, and inner peace and all that. But Jeff, you got it? Yeah. So peace per Google is defined as a freedom from disturbance, tranquility. Tranquility meaning calm, very calm. You don't have any stress built up or anything like that. I remember when I first became a Christian and I read that in the Bible, as long as I have peace, or as long as I'm with Christ, I'll have peace. Everything will go so smoothly in my life. Be no hardships, no nothing. But clearly that's not true. Raise your hand if your life is perfect. Raise your hand if your life has all peace, no hardships, no nothing. Life hits us with multiple curves and problems that we try to fix ourselves. I thought to myself, when having these problems, do I not have peace with God? Now, we can't blame him for it. This is caused by our own actions. We are still sinners, and we aren't perfect. Romans 8:5-11 says, the mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. The mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit to God's law, nor can it do so. Those who are in the realm of the flesh cannot please God. You, however, are not in the realm of the flesh, but are in the realm of the Spirit, if indeed the Spirit of God lives in you. And if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, they do not belong to Christ. But if Christ is in you, then even though your body is subject to death because of the sin, the Spirit gives you life because of the righteousness. If the Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give you life to your mortal bodies because of his Spirit who lives in you. This is plain and simple saying that if we disobey God, we don't follow and we play into our sin, how will we have peace with the one who we are actively disobeying, the one who gives us and grants us that peace in our life? Not to say that he isn't there now, but he is just waiting for you to turn back to him, to read back his word. So the question is, how do we fix not having peace in our lives? Get Spirit-filled. That means turning to him, reading his word, and continuing seeking after it. Philippians 4:6-7 says this perfectly. It talks about, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Prayer is stronger than we expect sometimes, guys. Sometimes when I experience hardships or I experience some problems in my life, some roadblocks, I myself try and fix it. And I myself okay, I can handle this. I can do it myself. Does anybody have that type of attitude towards things sometimes, where I can do it myself? I don't need God's help, right? I can solve that math problem. I can do this, right? But sometimes, like I said, prayer is stronger than we expect. And when I try and find peace by myself, even working on it and trying to figure it out myself, I still end up having to turn to Him, because He is the one that grants us that peace, and praying to Him, not just quiet in our minds. Sometimes you have to talk it out. Sometimes I may look crazy sometimes, and I'm talking to myself, but clearly I'm just talking to God. But God also hasn't given us to talk to. So what I mean by that is, in this life, He has given us fellow believers. I want you to guys look to your right and left. You guys have your friends. You guys have your brothers and sisters. You guys have your Christian brothers and sisters as well. He has given us people to share that burden and trouble with. He's given us fellow brothers and sisters that will help us along the way. James 5:1 says, "Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." So like I said, if you guys are dealing with struggles, God has not made us to be alone and to isolate ourselves from other people. We need to talk to people. Hey, I'm dealing with this. I'm struggling with this. I have a problem with this. God's given us brothers and sisters, not just our blood brothers and sisters like I got here. He's also given us our friends and our biblical friends as well. James 5:1 says, "Therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." The walk of having peace with Christ and having a relationship with Christ will be a continuous journey. This isn't just I turned to Christ. My sibling just got baptized the other week. It's not I turned to Christ, I've made this commitment, and that's it. It's a continuous journey, guys. You guys are going to continue to read in His Word, continue to be Spirit-filled. Continue to look at Him. The walk can sometimes come with hardships. Like I said, this life will not be perfect. And to get that peace with Christ, you guys have to continually follow Him. Matthew 6:13-14 puts it like this: "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few will find it." We must continually be in Him to have peace. And that's all that I want to end on. So let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank You so much for this time, God, and I thank You so much for Vince leading the combative primer, God, and I thank You so much for this time, Lord, and I pray that we continue to seek You, Lord, and continue to seek Your peace, Lord, through the Bible, God, and through You. God, I pray that we continue to have fun through the next 2 hours of the session, God, and I pray that You give Vince the instruction, Lord, to teach us what we need to know about self-defense and what we need to know about Christ, God, about You. And I praise Your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. I'll let you guys take a breather a little bit longer because I know I've been running pretty hard for the past 2 hours. So I want to show, and I'm gonna get beat up Noah here for a little bit. Everything we're teaching, again, also to bounce off of what Noah's saying, right? God's word is gonna inform you and give you peace, right? If you work with me at all, or if you come to Dojo Ministries, you know that we go through our gospel acting, right? Which is 6 principles that teach truths of the Bible. And if you have all 6 principles, you can understand anything in the Bible because you can bring it back to those basic principles. Kind of like if you understand 6 basic strikes, then you can always bring anything back to those strikes. We'll go to that in a second. But I want to encourage you and follow up. The peace that he is talking about comes from God being who He is. The Scripture tells us that He is. We don't have peace because we are sinners bound towards hell because of our sin and the punishment that comes from that. We only have peace because of Jesus Christ and what He has done on the cross to bring us peace before God and reconcile us and bring us to be at peace with God. We can only claim that peace if we sign that peace treaty, which is confessing, repenting, and believing in Jesus. And that treaty, that peace, is confirmed by the Holy Spirit coming into our lives. And God saying, "You're on my team now. We're good." And now that we're good, we are to live our lives in joyful, worshipful obedience to God and His Word, which the Holy Spirit guarantees us here and in eternity, and He'll guide us in. So I encourage you guys. The martial arts stuff, it's great, it's fun. Hopefully you never have to use it in self-defense, but maybe you'll use it in life. But the gospel principles, you're always going to need that. Whether it's because you need peace, because you need purpose, because you need to know God's plan for your life so you know you'll be okay down the road. Whether it's because your siblings are picking on you, or you're picking on your siblings and you need to repent, or you have that one classmate at school who's just driving you nuts, or that teacher who keeps giving you projects and you don't want to keep doing them. Or, math. Everyone hates math. Okay, I'm not everyone, but many of you feel me on that. I'm Filipino. I should be good at it. I'm not. Right? When I'm dealing with math problems or taxes, all the adults help me on that one. Right? I can still have peace because I have God. If I understand God, I understand Scripture, I understand who Jesus Christ is, being the Son of God, who died for my sins, if I understand the Holy Spirit's got my back, I'll be okay. Because I can fall back on those principles. Right? Techniques teach you principles. When you understand the principle, you understand the sound of techniques. Verses teach you theology. And when you understand the theology, you understand the sound of verses. And they come into your life and you need them to. Right? And just as we'll see, the principles and the techniques that I'm teaching you guys, they come into play in various scenarios. They'll even play in jiu-jitsu stuff that we do tomorrow. Right? Most importantly, what Scripture teaches us comes into play whenever we need it to. But I can teach you, until I'm blue in the face how to use a knife. If you decide, this is useless and I don't want to use it, that's no use to you. You're not going to learn from it. But when you actually accept it and understand what it is and you abide by it and you respect it, this becomes a tool that not only you can use, but it trains your hands and your life in how to move. Like I said, people do martial arts because ultimately they want to fight better, but they want to live better. And ultimately, as they learn to fight better, they learn how to live better too. If they learn to live better, their fighting becomes better too. Right? I hope my life can be proof of that. It's like, you know what? I want to fight better. Right? You know what? To fight better, I need to have a reason for that. I want to fight to honor God. And as I honor God, that's when I had opportunities to use martial arts for God's glory. That's why I got to take on Noah alongside me with this journey for Dojo Ministry to help teach you guys. Right? And then Pastor JR over here helped out. It's like, yeah, I got your back. We're going to do this too. Right? And even though I'm bruising him in the arm, asking him that story later, right? We're still having fun. We're having you guys here. This is happening because what the gospel says about God and our lives is true. And I hope to continue sharing that with you guys and bring more friends to keep learning as well. Okay? Sweet. All right. So, real quick, I just want to show you guys principles still apply across the board, right? Noah's going to be showing jiu-jitsu tomorrow. But just because we're doing jiu-jitsu and we won't have tools in our hands doesn't mean everything is out the window, right? So, I just want to show you just, some teasers about what we can learn. Noah, the left hand, he grabs me behind the neck and he's like trying to bully me. Like, he tried to steal my lunch money, right? Go ahead, turn over here. Number one was assist, still applies. Number one strike was assist. All right? Noah actually works out. I just do martial arts. He's buffer. Okay? That's an objective fact, right? He's bigger, stronger, taller, better looking. All right? He grabs me in the back of the neck right here. I'm pushing. I can push all I want. If he's flexing and not letting me bend, right? Assist. All right? I can actually break his elbow if I was violent about it, right? For being nice here. Boom. If he grabs to the other side, right? I can still do number two right here, essentially do the same thing. Right? I can come in here, number one, and assist, like I showed you guys earlier. If he grabs my shirt, right? What's the first thing I taught you guys? How to grip the weapon, right? If I understand how to use my grip, for some people this is terrifying and scary, because he's grabbing me. For jiu-jitsu guys, for Filipino martial arts guys, oh, thank you. You just close the distance for me. I don't have to go over here. All I'm going to do is work my grip on his thumb right here. Remember how he's bigger, stronger, taller than me? Not anymore, right? I go right here. I just take his thumb and I just use my grip, and now I'm breaking his, right? And if I want to be a jerk about it, I'll assist. I'll come in here and I assist, right? I do this to his brother all the time because he like to wrestle with me, right? And I can control him with his thumb right here, right? If he bear hugs me, right? I can use that number 6, that's straight, to push away, or that number 6 to push away here. He comes in underneath here, right? Oh no, like I'm losing my base. Right under his neck, number 1. Or that number 6, that's straight push, right? He still comes in underneath here, but I have my base. I can come in right here, uppercut both sides, and now I have him in the elbow lock. Did you guys do that? Wait, was it? Like that hard breathing, it's like, this hurts? I'm like, yes, it does, right? If I got one side right here, and I hook, right? I can start controlling him. He's not letting me do this, by the way. This is just techniques. He's bigger and a better jiu-jitsu player than I am. My wrestling's kind of rusty, right? But these techniques, when they're applied, they work, all right? If he comes in for a double leg takedown and I can catch his head, right? This uppercut was assist, right? And he's being stepped on and not tapping, right? I can come in right here and applies, right? Nothing I taught you is in isolation. It applies to different things. The criticism of Filipino martial arts, oh, if you don't have a weapon, you can't fight. I just showed you I can. Now put a weapon in my hand, all right? He grabs me. Number one assist, right? I hook here, right? And I catch it. That sucks, right? Or I come in here and I pull right here. If you think getting pulled in the neck here hurts, add a stick in there too. But wait, you can't how to use the knife. Okay. I'll cycle number one, assist, right? You throw the punch, cycle, number one, assist. The reason this doesn't hurt is because this is rubber and soft, right? But even with a flashlight, I use actual stick here, right? I come in, number one, assist, right here. You see his face? It's not happy, right? If I'm swinging it, it's impact. If I'm pushing it down, now it's grabbing, right? When I was teaching you this earlier, right? It's hip punching with elbows flared. If he's trying to grab my hand, take the tools out of my hand, weapon retention, right? And I'm just hip punching. That's all I'm doing. If he has both hands, right? Where you going here, hip punch, right? So now I'm teaching you how to retain your weapons, right? And this move right here, you ever see a little kid, you try to take something from him, right? He wants to take my toy from me. No, mine. And even parents, like Dean over here, right? You could have a 5-pound baby, right? They do this, he's still gonna have a difficult time taking that away from him. But now we're a little more equal size, right? He's grabbing, and I'm here, all right? If I pull it in, I retain. And what was that? Your hip punching that you learned earlier. Your grip can be applied to offense. Your hip punching, your ones, your twos, your all the way through 6 with the assist, all of it applies. All right. So I just want to open you guys' eyes to that as we continue learning. Again, techniques teach you principles. You understand the principles, you understand the styles and techniques. And once you have those styles and techniques available to you, all you have to do is start getting better at the ones you initially learned. And those other things become available to you. And other teachers can come into play and teach you how to apply those angles or give you more angles to work with. Okay? Cool. All right, we're going to keep going at it here, all right? On your feet? Let's go. Our next series of techniques, all right? So just to review, because it's been 20 minutes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's assist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? You've seen those applications. You've seen the defense applying those things. Now we're going to go and we've taught the offense. Now we're going to apply some more defense. Now, some of you have noticed, like, we haven't actually taught footwork yet. You want to make someone move their feet? Swing a knife at them. Don't move. All right? So we're going to intentionally learn how to move with this. All right? Now, a lot of what you're going to see here is classic boxing, bobbing, weaving, and evasive maneuvers and head movement. All the more important is someone's got a tool, right? If Noah and I are sparring and we're going hand to hand, right? We're empty hand here, I might be able to take a punch from him, right? He swings and hooks. I can handle that, right? Maybe. If he's doing that with a knife, I don't want to handle that, all right? So we're going to learn some evasive maneuvers with this. So Noah's going to feed our 1 through 6 strike, right? So he's going to feed 1. Principle of your evasive maneuvers, ideally you're going to go to the outside of the strike, all right? So this is inside the strike here. I want to go outside of it. I don't want to go here because I stay in the path of the strike. You guys see that? Where the path of the strike is going, I want to go outside of that path, right? So our first 2, I'm going to go through all 6 and then we can start playing. Our first 2 is your slipping that you do in boxing. Take your stance, put your head over one foot or the other. That's your slipping, right? This works for your straight punches as well. The slip one or the other. But we're going to apply it to our 1-2 strike. So he swings 1, I'm gonna slip to the outside. He swings 2, slip to the outside. Again, 1, 2. All right, again, I'm staying to the outside of where the strike's going because I don't want to be in the way of that strike. Now he's gonna go hook, right? Hook and back fist. We're gonna do our bob and weave. When you do this, don't look at the ground. Your opponent's up here. That's where the danger is. Keep an eye on where that is. So when he swings, bob, weave. Bob, weave. Right? And you're just going from 1 foot, duck, right? If my head's right here in this space, I just want to go 1 head below it and off the side. 1 head below to the side. 1 head below to the side. So bobbing and weaving, here, 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 here. We're not doing this. Ooh, I'm not trying to smell his feet, okay? I want to just get out, away from strike, get away from strike. I want to stay in range so I can attack. Or I just want to get just out of range so that I can move. If I do this, right? Now I'm out of range. If I stay in range, I can apply my strikes then too, right? Our number 6, right? Our uppercuts, sorry. Again, we're gonna go ahead and scoop back, right? So comes in, I scoop back, get my chin out of the way, because that's what he's aiming for, right? What's he aiming for? Hips and chin. So I'm gonna step back and get my hips and chin out of the way of the strike. And if I reset and he comes in for a jab, I'm gonna do that as well. Go ahead if you want, you can step back if you really need to get away from it, or you can just take a step back to get just out of range. So he does straight, and I go here, right? And why would I do that? Because as he pulls back to do his next strike, I can follow and strike. So, I don't want to do this. Now I can't fight if I need to. If he's here, boom, okay? Now, with that, this is a layer of defense, all right? Ideally, I want to do this first. But then if I'm trying to bob and weave, all right, or if let's say he does 1 and I slip, and he coming in with a number 2 and I don't have time to slip, that's when I assist. And because I don't want him to go for another strike, that's when I attack, all right? But when it comes to knife stuff, now, when it comes to defense with a knife, if you're not sparring him in a match, or if you're not required really to stay where you are, run. And any sane martial artist, FYI, would rather try to disarm and take on a guy with a pistol than a knife, right? Because we're going slow and nice now, but when we're actually going and we're sparring, if I get in close, I lost count of how many cuts that was in that like 2 seconds. Do you really want to try to stay there and play with that? No. Now, most guys are just doing this and they're going wild. Just get out of range and get out of it. But, again, the game of martial arts. Noah and I will play with this all the time. I'm just like, hey, what's up? I'm going, right? And if he's, far enough away that he can dodge, he's just going to dodge, right? He's just going to dodge. So that's why, again, bring it back to the game of martial arts. And if you're playing, cool. And then if you actually are defending your life, get out of it, right? Self-defense is a whole nother wider topic. Right now we're playing the game, so we have those mechanics we can apply them when we need to. So again, I'm going here, our basic maneuvers. 1, slip, 2, slip, bob and weave, step back, and we're right here, okay? So go ahead, run through that with your partners. If you are confused, again, Noah just said, ask for help. When it comes to life, when it comes to knife, all right, ask for help. We have us 4 here and JR. Ask for help so you guys can do these techniques properly, okay? And go. Bobbing, right? Here's an exercise. Watch you get into this in a second too. Shepherd, go ahead and stick your hand out like this. When you're bobbing and weaving, right? You're right here. In a way, you should feel his arm with your head the whole time. Right? He feels my hair this whole time. Now, am I actually trying to do that when I'm fighting? No. But I'm trying to get under to another position here. Get under to another position here. Right? I told Allison over here a second ago, I'm drawing a U with my nose. Right? So, you see here, right? Watch the knife. It's gonna draw you. Ooh. 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 Why am I making baby sounds? Because you remembered it, right? Right here. I'm drawing that U with my nose. Right? And that's the bob and weave. Or, right, make a knife you, right? He knifes me past the girl, right here. Shoulder to shoulder. Right? Guys, right, when you're on a date with a girl, it's like, hey, have you ever seen fireworks? They kind of start here, and they go, boom, right? You're doing that with your own shoulders, all right? Right here, boom, 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 all right? So if you're having trouble with the bob and weave, have your partner stick their hand out and slip shoulder to shoulder right here, okay? Go. Little game, all right? Or we're gonna get to playing a little game here, but we're gonna do a drill to help you guys get to that point. All right. So, Noah, can I have your help here?
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna actually go empty-handed here. And we're gonna apply our assists and our strikes. All Noah's gonna do is he's gonna put his hand either pointing at my nose or at my belly button, one or the other, right? So if he puts his hand at my nose, my options are I can slip, right? I can assist with one hand. I can assist and block. I can assist and block. Right? I can bob and weave, right? And he's just gonna put his hand there. Now if he puts his hand down here towards my stomach, I can block here, 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 right? Your blocking, right, is your assist with one hand. It's your strike with one hand. It's both hands, right? And you're just using those angles to move this out of the way. Now, he's just gonna put it in my face and get my space like this, right? It's hard to move him, so I'm gonna move me. Moving, 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 right? And then he puts on my stomach, right? Moving, 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 right? So this is just in that way I can get used to, okay, something's in my face and I can move out of the way, all right? I can move out of the way for any of these strikes right here, and I can back it up with my hands, all right? And it's even down here, right? Okay, so partner A, go ahead, just put their hand in their face, all right, hand in the face with belly button. Partner B, stay in range, move and tap, move and tap, move and tap, move and tap, move and tap. Okay, go. Everyone got a turn? Everyone got a turn? Okay, cool. We're gonna add some targeting with this, all right, Shepard? So as he's here, he's gonna put his hand in my face, and go 1, 2. I just want to touch the shoulder. 1, 2, touch the shoulder. I come in here, I'm gonna touch the hip, here, touch the hip or shoulder, right? Boom, boom, touch, touch, touch. If he goes down low, right? Here, 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 okay? Aim for the shoulder, or actually, you know what? Let's go as low as the knee, okay? That way we can like have some, get our squats in, Don't skip like that, all right? Here, all right? Here, 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 okay? Also, real quick, I forgot this one. When you're going hook and uppercut, we have bob and weave up here. If he swings low, hollow out, hollow out, hollow out, all right? So if you want to practice that, throw that in there, all right? Hollowing out, and then we're here, right? Hands to my face, tap, tap, shoulder, tap, tap, shoulder, tap, tap, knee, tap, tap, shoulder, and then you switching back and forth, high and low, tap, 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 okay? Go. That game I was talking about. This is something we like to do at Dojo Ministries a lot. Anyone wearing one of the t-shirts, except for our camera crew who just got this today? They love playing this game. It's called shoulder tag, or corner tag. We're gonna play corner tag. We have 4 corners. Shoulder, shoulder, knee, knee. Okay, Shepard? All right, and all we're gonna do is, with my tool, I'm trying to tag him in the shoulder, he's trying to tag me in the shoulder. I'm gonna tag him in the knee, he's gonna try to tag me in the knee. Don't, Jackie Chan rules from Karate Kid. Hit him, don't let it hit you. All right? How do you do that? Talk to him. All right? You can block, he comes in, right? And I can assist and block there. I can attack his attack. Boom, right there. Or I can evade, right? Boom. And then, okay, if he strikes, boom, boom. Where's our footwork? You want to move? Swing a knife at somebody, okay? Boom. Boom. Okay, I'm moving. Hey, I don't want woo. Right? We're right here. Boom. Boom. Bop. Bop, bop, boom. There you go. We're moving. Hi. Slow. All right. Boom. Oh, watch the face. That's why we aim for the shoulders, less likely to hit the face. Okay. So we're here. You can go number one. Go number two. I can hook down there. Go right there. Okay. Play. And this is the play part. This is where it's fun. You can also do this empty hands, right? We're here. Boom. Bah. Boom. Bah. Boom. All right. Bah, bah, bah. Good. Now, FYI, what you saw there in the higher leagues, Olympic level, professional boxing, that's just super technical sparring. All right. It's not the hardcore. Let's just beat each other up. It's like, okay, we're just gonna play because it's still the same attack, just a more playful and lower intensity. Okay, so find a partner, right, and just play around with these techniques. Take your tool and you're just gonna go there. If you only have a flashlight, you're gonna find out how you need to move your feet to get in range. Okay, so corner tag, going for the shoulders and the knees. My intensity wise, no more than like 30%. That way you can control the techniques. So if you start realizing you're kind of picking up, hey, no, play. And we're here. Boom. You should almost be able to have a conversation while you're doing this. You having fun, Shepherd?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, watch it. Boom. Ah. Okay? So, find a partner. You're about to get your cardio in, okay? So, find your partner. Give them a high five and a handshake so you know you're here to help each other out, not hurt each other. Don't get too attached. You're going to swap out partners in a little bit, okay? All right, so let's say 60 seconds. Placing corner tag, okay? All right, so especially since a lot of parents here, you have kids here. Awesome. Thank you for bringing kids. That's great. I love that. They're having fun. We're going to be moving into knife or counter knife defense offense. Like if you are bare hands and you're dealing with a weapon, right? And it's going to apply to any sort of dangerous weapon, firearm, hammer, knife, right? This next portion I'm giving to the adults, and for your kids, it's your choice if you want them to hear this, and it will come from you, not from me. Because there's just some things I'm not ready to teach kids, and there's just things I'm not going to be responsible for. Some of them finding out the darkness of the world. That's parents' job. That's even the It's like you guys should be the ones saying, "Hey, you're ready to hear this. You're ready for this level of mental anguish that comes with learning martial arts." So for adults, parents here, 9 times out of 10, if someone's coming at you with a knife, gun, dangerous weapon, run. Right? Now, in what cases should you stand your ground and engage someone swinging a knife at you, a hammer, a firearm? What do you say?
Back into a front.
Back in the corner, you can't run. Okay. What else?
Protecting someone else.
Protecting someone else. What else? Like the two big ones right there. Okay. And those two major ones right there. Like you got to protect someone else. Could be an active shooter situation. It's like, hey, they're gonna get someone. Even if I run, they're going after someone else. I'm a teacher. I'm a youth pastor. I'm terrified of that. Someone comes through these doors and it's like, we had a code red once upon a time at the school. And I remember thinking, it's like, so fortunately, there's just some idiot who decided to jump through the parking lot. But I remember thinking, I'm standing behind that door. I was like, Lord, if someone's got to go, let me, not my students. But I'm dragging them down with me. I'll deliver them where they're going before I go where I'm going. And that's do they need to know that yet? That's your choice, right? But also, what we're teaching is going to be weapons isolation. So in that way, the weapon's not pointing towards you or someone else so that you can deal with that weapon. The same principles that if Noah is here, right? If he goes for a thrust and we're going to isolate the weapon and come here so the knife isn't going to hurt me, right? Or I'm going to go here so it's not going anywhere, right? I'm isolating the weapon and taking it temporarily away from its ability to hurt me, right? These same weapons isolation techniques. What if, fortunately, you walk in and you see this? sometimes the life you have to save is the person who's trying to do the hurting. You walk in, you see this, right? It's a teenager who's at the end of the road. Or, maybe it's not one of these bottom of pills. It's that third beer can that's Uncle Bob's hand just got a divorce, right? Now you see why I don't want them knowing this yet. And unfortunately, that's going to come at them. I'm giving this to you, parents and adults, because it should be you who helps them navigate that door. I will help, but you start that conversation, okay? But if Noah, right, he's down and out, right, and he's thinking it's time to go, it's still weapons isolation, right? I see it coming from behind right here. It's still weapons isolation. But sometimes in life I need to save the guys who do the hurting, right? So again, when they're ready for that conversation, that's when you guys bring it up, and then they can see the same principles. But right now, I want them to have fun learning for a tournament style. It's like, hey, you're fighting someone, you're sparring with someone. All right, cool. You take the knife away from them, that kind of thing. Yes, maybe you gotta be the hero in the situation, right? And that's the darkest I'll go with them. But in the event, they need to understand, hey, why would I learn this? Because it's dumb to engage someone who has a knife, has a gun. It could be a bottle of pills. It could be that next glass of whiskey. It could be whatever else. And you're not fighting just to save your life. You're helping them to live, right? So martial arts ultimately is being better at the other guy, learning how to defeat them, kill them. But when you go past that, martial arts should ascend to saving as many lives as possible. And that's why we teach these principles. Okay? So again, that is for parents. You take that to your kids when you're ready to have them introduced to that, or maybe you're ready for when that conversation comes. Okay? And maybe this conversation is going to come with different. Maybe it's not going to come from, okay, if you need to take a weapon away from someone, why would you? It's like, Mom, Dad, I heard someone saying that they're going to hurt themselves. But Noah's over here, about to jump off a bridge. Isolate, drag. And, again, save life. This the same principle of coming out right here, choking him out. I go here and I control. Because ultimately we want to save lives and we want to preserve life. And when they're ready for that, you guys will be ready to give that answer, hopefully. And again, I'm always here if you need help bringing that conversation forward. And you guys have my card and all that stuff. But understand those are some of the principles that when they're ready for it, at least you can start that conversation. With that, those are still training. You're going to take a 2-minute water break and we'll bring him in for our last portion.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we've mainly been doing offensive knife work. We've been kind of doing more of a dueling tournament, knife sparring framework. This is where we kind of get more into the self-defense aspect of what we're teaching. All right, and we want to be able to make sure that we have some practical self-defense skills if you are taking on someone. Maybe you don't have any tools in your hand, and you need to address someone with a weapon in their hand. Right? We're going to be working mainly weapons isolation and being able to clear the scene. Right? Some of you are thinking, Allison, like maybe Allison's thinking, oh, I'm gonna disarm Mr. Alvarez and his knife, right? I'm gonna come, and she's gonna come in here and she's gonna do some Kung Fu Panda foolery, and then the knife's gonna go flying. And it's like, oh no, right? It's really, really dumb to try to fight someone with a knife, but sometimes you got it, okay? So at least have some principles to get hurt less and get home, right? Or maybe you and your friends are just sparring around and you want to be able to work with it, all right? So what we're going to do is work these principles of weapons isolation, all right? Now, we're going to go through a couple of drills, a couple of exercises. We're going to also much of what we're doing right now in this last hour applies to what Noah's going to teach us tomorrow. He's actually going to bounce off of what we're learning today to tomorrow, okay? So, St. Dawson, yeah, have him sit over here. So, yeah, actually, Noah. So, first thing what we're going to do, we're going to play a little game again. I want you guys to go ahead, put your tool in your waistband, right? And think about this. Where do you put it? That depends on where you want it and what's after. For me, right? This is called appendix carry, right? It's forward of the hips and it's right here and I can draw. Or it's right here and draw. Some people like to carry what's called 3 o'clock, right? It says a clock above my head, 12, 3, 9, 6. They'll carry at the 3 o'clock position here. They like to go like that, or draw like this. Some people carry in a scout carry position. See this in the movies a lot. Don't put it right here in the middle of the spine. If you fall on that, not a good thing. All right. So more like a 5, 4 o'clock position here, and you can draw it there. What we're gonna do, Noah and I, we're gonna put our tool wherever we've got it. We're just gonna go hands up right here. Now I'm gonna say go, and we have one of two options. A, I draw my knife, and as long as I get it out, and he doesn't, and it's without any contest, right? And you'll see the contest in a second. If I get it out and clear, I won, right? Maybe I realize I'm too slow for that, and Noah's going for his knife. As he goes for his knife, until that knife is completely out and clear, if I tag it, I win. All we're trying to do is either draw our knife or tag his hand, all right? So it'll be right here, right? So I have it back here, ready, 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 go, all right? And I got it, cool, right? Maybe I felt, ooh, that's too slow, so I'm gonna go right here, all right? Hands are up, ready, 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 go. And I go right there and I tag, okay? So, for now, this little drill, this quick draw drill, either tag a hand or get your knife out without him tagging you, okay? Hit 10 to let him do. All right? Find a partner. Find a partner, find a partner, find a partner. Deal with something in isolation in a vacuum, all right? It's going to be a little bit chaotic, all right? So Noah and I were right here. We're going to start doing what's called hand fighting, all right? So we're going to start, I have his wrist, he has mine. And all we're trying to do, all right here, is I'm trying to get both his wrists. Now I can either curl my hand around and grab, or if he has really tight grip, I can assist and grab, right? And I'm either trying to get both hands or 2 on 1. All right, and we're just going back and forth. This just keeps going and going. So it's gonna look like this, all right? He's going, I'm grabbing, right? And you go 2 on 1 here, keep going there. And then you're gonna hear, go! There you go, and he pokes me, right? Notice what he did here. He kept this jammed up right here. He assisted his draw, all right? It's the same number 1 assist, but now it's on the waistline. All right, so we're back here. All right, and playing, grabbing here, isolation, boom, boom, boom. I cheated. Let's call it, okay? So now we're gonna fight for the bicep, all right? You know, he's got guitar up here, drummer, nice and buff over here. Goes here, his wife Sharon goes swoons like that. Okay, that portion right there, okay? I'm trying to get on the inside and grab that, all right? Here or the elbow, right? He's trying to get on the inside and grab that. So he's either going to go over the top or underneath and grab right there, okay? So we're just going to go right here. It's going to look very wax on, wax off, all right? So we're right here, and we're just fighting for that dominant position. Good. And then, Shepard, say go when you want to say go. Go. And here, all right? And then we're just back here, and we're fighting for inside the bicep right here, okay? You can kind of swim in and go, and go. There you go, nice tag. All right, go ahead, play with that. So go ahead with your partner, fight for that bicep, and then we'll get you guys playing in a second. Right, fighting for hands, we're fighting for the bicep. Now we're fighting for inside the armpit right here, okay? So we're gonna start inside here. He's got me inside here, right? And what we're doing is take your hand, swim it in here, and he's gonna do spin, right? And we're swimming back and forth. Just real quick, ladies, if you only want to work with ladies on this one, understand, guys, be understanding when I do that, okay? But right here, we're swimming in, boom, 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 and then we're gonna hear go, right? Bam. All right, so go ahead, find a partner, swim, get used to that, and then we'll play. Go ahead and play with that. So you had the hand fighting right here. You have fighting inside the biceps right here. You have swimming right here. Now, as we do this, we can just mix them all up, right? So we're going here, my hand fighting this side, then I go to biceps, swim, go here, boom, bam, boom, 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 right? Now, again, he's bigger than me. If he's gonna charge at me, I don't want to stay in front of him. So we're gonna show you a technique called arm jerk. You're gonna from whatever position here, you're gonna isolate a hand, right? You're gonna take this, your other hand, uppercut, grab the bicep right here, all right? You should feel how strong he is right here. Not showing up. All right, you're right here, and then just like how we did our uppercut where we're following through, we're gonna follow through and push this through. Boom. For people who don't know how to fight, this is magic, right? Now, you're not trying to move him, you're moving you. So Noah and I were right here. Boom, boom, we're playing. All of a sudden, I'm behind him, right? Which, by the way, if I'm behind him, isn't it so much easier to get my blade clear and strike? So we're here, we're fighting, we're doing this, inside control, boom, boom, bam, right? So let's go ahead and walk through the arm drag, and we'll throw it in with all our pummeling we just did, all right? So, find your partner. We're going to do it both sides, okay? So, partner A, figure out who partner A is. Left hand grabs their right wrist, right? Reach right across, and grab the same side hand. There you go. Other hand, open palm or open hand, uppercut above the elbow right here. All right? You have minimum, you got to get right past the elbow. All right? Then as you pull, and you assist, step. All right? So you're here, step. Push this through and step. All right? So it's your uppercut and your uppercut assist at the same time. Here, right? Uppercut assist, uppercut following and cycling, right? So here, and I'm going to use that to pull. If Noah doesn't move, just stay there, don't really move, right? Not moving, he's not moving, okay, I'll move. My goal is to get behind him, take whichever route gets me behind him, right? So I'm here, boom, boom, bam. It works on the other side too. Grab, uppercut, assist, and step through, right? Grab, uppercut, assist, and step through. Okay? So, go ahead with your partner. Run that technique a couple times. Go. No. You're gonna don't have your thumb out. All right. You're not trying to crab claw, or don't have a crab claw. Monkey hand. All right. No claws. Monkey. Scoop it underneath here. Here's the difference, right? If I go here, I'm kind of limited. Here, I can actually incorporate my whole wrist, my wrist into this. All right. Get your Valley Girl on. Girl, right? Girl, get your Valley face, right? So get your Valley Girl on with it, hook, and pulling through. Yes, I just said Valley Girl. Good. Okay? So, Noah and I, we're going to be right here, right? And we're going to hand fight, we're going to fight with the bicep, we're going to split them in, we're going to do that. And when you hear go, your goal is to arm drag and win the arm drag here. Whether you get your knife out or not, you're clear, all right? So your goal is to get behind them, all right? So, as we're playing, hand fight, bicep fight, pummeling, we're here. Someone says go, and we go, okay? Play. So, start hand fighting, start pummeling, start bicep grabbing. All right, if you're tangled up with someone, and you realize they're going for a blade, or you just need to get out of there, you arm drag. What happens if you can't do that? That's when we get into our weapons isolation. That's the last thing we get into today, all right? So, we're here, we're tangled up, don't pull the blade, right, or something. And if I can't arm drag, my first objective is if I assist, right, and watch, I go here, and I'll arm drag, all right? Maybe if he pulls back, and he goes for number one, right? I go, I move, I arm drag, all right? So what I want you guys to do from here, have one person with a tool, and then they're going to feed, you're going to assist, good arm drag, get away from it. Assist, arm drag, get away from it. If you're feeding, also try to switch hands, so they got to work both sides, okay? Both people, you just got to deal with the right hand. But don't get caught off guard with the fact that it's left hand, right? Works the same way on the left side, just deal with your left. So, we're right here. Go ahead. So, I'm going to feed him one, he's going to assist, you're going to move to arm drag, and get behind, right? Because guess what? The knife isn't really that effective back here, even if I can go behind him, right? It's a lot scarier back here. Back here, he's got options. Back here, he wishes he didn't need to have options, okay? So, we're here. If I go 2, you can assist, get to that arm drag, right? If I hook, you can assist, get to that arm drag. Back fist, hook, get to that arm drag. Good. If I uppercut, boom, get to that arm drag. If I go straight through, boom, wax off, arm drag.
So
Okay?
I think for the arm drag, the most important thing, especially if he does a straight or he does a hook, it's blocking first, but getting inside that bicep. A lot of people, this is a sterile environment. You guys are all playing with play knives. There's a real knife and you're backed up into a corner. Just think about this when it comes to an arm drag. It's getting that hand inside of their bicep and onto their tricep. If you go from the outside and try to pull this way, it may still work, but if the guy's bigger than you, if you want to go inside the bicep to that tricep and pull as hard as you can that way as you're running the other way. So remember that for the arm drag, so just go inside the bicep. So keep going, boom. I'm gonna go inside the bicep so I can pull outside that one. So
Yeah, if it's a smaller person, right? Fling them, right? What do you kids say? Yeet. You eat them, right? You go in here, yeet, right? If it's a bigger person, skibbity out of there. That's how you say it. Right? I go here, skibbity, right? And now you'll remember, so go ahead, make sure you work with that. Either way, you get behind them, okay? So walk, assist to the arm drag, get behind them. Go. You know, recovering from surgery brings up a good point. What if it's one hand, right? It's not surgery, he's holding his little baby, all right? Happens, right? So one hand, right? I can still go here, right? I do my assist, I do my block. That pummeling that we learned, pummel here, and I step and I clear. It still works. I didn't think up that technique, right? I didn't have that technique prepared. It's like, okay, take the principles you learned and apply it to the circumstance. I have my left hand against a knife, all right? And I'm right-handed. Well, I have the assist. Anything I do with the right hand, I can do with the left. Anything I do with the left hand, I can apply with the right. And then I have that grappling and that pummeling, right? Cool. He comes in, boom, hook, and I pull, right? Even if we're just doing, he's still not hooking me, right? I'm not imitating Swiss cheese. And if I am, it's not that bad, right? So I can go here, I can go there, and clear my way out. Okay? So, and if he feeds from a different angle, right? So he went straight, he goes uppercut right here, I can still feed in. When I do this, I'm squeezing it right here. Even if he pokes me, it's just a bandage worse of injury right here, right? I might not even go to the hospital, but I don't want to take the chance I could get sends me there. I hook, and I can even go over here and arm drag off the wrist. At least it gets me at it. Okay? So, just bringing that up, the principles teach you, even if all the techniques are out the window, the principles will give you new techniques. You just gotta recognize them. Okay? So, last thing we're gonna go over today is a set of techniques. This is the main blade defense that I go to when it comes to addressing someone's edge weapon, right? An edge weapon, that could be a standard knife, it could be a box cutter, a pen, it could be a screwdriver. If it's coming at you, right, and you need it to not be pointed at you and doing damage, this works, right? Even if we're working with a blaster, still works, all right? So, it's 4 categories of moves. Lock, drop, drag. Now, we're mainly going to do the lock, drop, right? Lock, drop. Right? We're not going to do so much of the drag right now. We'll do that tomorrow when we have mats. We don't have mats right now. But right now, we're just going to block, lock, and drop for the most part. But instead, we're going to do knife defense. Jeff is cringing so hard. Yes. He's been dealing with this for like 13 years. You're welcome. All right. So, those coming in, right? We're going to mainly work off the number 1 and the number 5. The forehand strike and the uppercut, all right? So, he comes in, I'm going to block. That's my assist, right? My lock, and actually when we do this, I want both hands. If I don't have a knife, right, and I just got to go empty hand, put both hands on this, all right? If this is my biggest issue, right? This is my biggest problem. Put resources towards it, both hands, all right? When we were doing this earlier, so let me play. No, he's trying to poke me with it, right? Boom. right? I'm gonna block. Then I'm gonna lock. Take your hands, make a butterfly, make a Venus flytrap, right? That's what you're gonna do right here. I'm gonna block. I'm gonna bring my thumbs together on his arm, make a Venus flytrap. So first I lock by grabbing, then lock this to either his hip or to my hip, right? Here's why. Allison, can I borrow it? So, Allison is going to do this technique against Noah, all right? So, Allison, go and drop the blade. So, what I want to do, I want you to grab both hands on him right here, all right? And he's just going to try to poke you in the belly. Not too hard. He's just going to try to poke you, all right? Go. Right? And getting pretty close. If he really tries, he's probably going to poke in the belly, right? So, now, reset. Keep that grip. Allison, what I want you to do, I want you to pin that hand to his hip. So he's going to let you pin that hip. Now try to poke her in the belly. Go. Try a little harder, Noah. Until she slipped, she had that knife away from her, right? You see the size difference, right? Now, over here. Now I want you to pin this to your hip. And don't let him pull back and poke you with it, all right? So you keep it, poke there, all right? Keep it tight. Hold it like $100, all right? All right, now try to pull your blade back and poke it. Go. Now, boss, has she won this fight? Has she at least not gotten injured? When it comes to knife stuff, that's all you're really hoping for. The winning is getting away from the situation. Now, if you are in a tournament, is that you guys call Dog Brothers, so they do full contact stick and knife fighting with dull blades, right? And it's like, okay, if we're actually practicing with the headgear on, we're playing around with some techniques, and I do want to try to disarm them, right? The best way to disarm somebody is knock them out. Then they're not. You can disarm anyone who's unconscious, right? But to get to that point, I need to make sure I don't go unconscious first. So I'm either going to pin it here or pin it here, all right? This is called a zero principle. Right here, he has momentum. Let's give him a momentum of 5 points, right? So if he can go 5 points this way and 5 points this way. At 0 points, he's got no momentum. He's got no gas in the tank to try to poke me right now. So if he tries to go, I can keep him pinned here. I'm in a stronger position. If I got him here, I got him locked in. He's fully extended. So I'm in a better position. If he tries to pull back, I can just follow him, right? Be like a toddler who doesn't want mom to go. Except no, is I don't get poked, right? So we walk here or here. And then either way, we're going to do one of two things. If we're here, we're going to drop. I'm going to put my shoulders over his hand. Who's done CPR? Done CPR training. Where do your shoulders go when you're pressing? All the way over. All right? Take that same principle, put it to the fact that he has a knife in his hand, right? Again, no one works out. He's strong. How much can you curl? 80. So you can curl 80 pounds. I'm 170 pounds. Over here, I might get 30 pounds on him. 170 pounds. Curl, 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 curl. Right? It's a struggle. And while he's distracted, I can do something else. When I drop, I'm trying to make him punch the concrete. You ever punched concrete before? For those who haven't, you know why you haven't, because it hurts a lot. I'm putting all 230 pounds and 170 pounds and 300 pounds of pressure right on his hand into concrete, right? So he comes in, block, block, drop. And then tomorrow we'll get into drag, and we can go from there. But once you drop, right, he's that guy who comes in and goes, oh, snap, boom, boom, boom. I'm clear. Now we're not going to go at that intensity, because he could have punched the concrete right now. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. He comes in, walk, and I get on his hip or I get it somewhere over here near him, and I drop. All right? If I'm over here, and if I go here or I go here, I'm going to put my shoulders over his elbow. Drop. All right? Doesn't matter how strong he is. If the elbow's straight and I hyperextended, drop. All right? Maybe it's only 70 pounds, but 70 pounds on an elbow that should not bend down. Okay? So that's what we're gonna work on for our weapons defense. Wherever it comes from, he goes strike, lock, drop. Then we can clear it from there. Okay? The jiu-jitsu comes tomorrow. For right now, we're gonna work block, lock, drop. Okay? Go. All right? So, partner A, swing, whatever. Actually, everyone just go number one. Number one angle, switch grip. All right? Both hands block. Both hands block. Go ahead, if your partner B, go ahead, work with me here. Block. Right? Bring your hands together. Here, like a butterfly. Make a butterfly with your hands. Touch your thumbs to the arm and grab. That's your lock. When you're here, pin this to their hip. So take their hand and pin it to the leg of their hip. Right? You should basically punch them in the hip here, but don't actually punch them. All right? Then bring your shoulders over their hand and drop. And once you drop them, stop there so we don't hurt each other. Okay? Okay, so Jeff over here, he's doing this with his wife. She's much smaller than him, and he's doing this. That's how you know she's doing it right. Okay? So again, from the top. Block. Block. 2-on-1, just like we're in our hand fighting. Block onto the hip. Right? Shoulders over the hands. Drop. And stop. Switch partners. Feet in number one strike. Block. Block. Make a butterfly with your hands. Pin it to their hips. Pin it. Put your shoulders over your hands. Drop. And again. Feed one. Block. Block. Shoulders, pin it to the hip. Shoulders over the hands. Drop. Good. Real quick, let me go over that grab real quick, all right? So whichever way it is, again, we're going off the one, it can go off any of them, right? If he feeds me a back fist, I can still go here. Make a butterfly with your hands. Touch both your thumbs to the wrist. All right? You should go from butterfly to Venus flytrap. Right? So he swings, lock, both thumbs on the hand. Put both thumbs on the hands. Butterfly, fly trap, right? Pin it, shoulders over, drop. By the way, this pinning here, when I do this, he's probably going to try to back up. This means I'm going to chase him down. So it's like he doesn't like this. He's going to back up. I'm going to keep going here, and then I can drop. Okay? So, back here. Block. Fingers, thumbs together. Grab it. Lock it. Shoulders over. Drop. That's terrible. Right. Keep your shoulders over their hand, right? Again, block. Block. Pin it. Shoulders over. Drop. Hands up. Make sure everyone gets a turn. Go. Make sure I'm getting this right. We're being nice about this right now. He swings, right? Boom, and being nice, and I go here. If he resists, he can curl out of this. Like curl your arm, right? This isn't how we actually do it. We're practicing now because we're being nice and effective. The actual intensity that we're going at, he swings. Boom, boom. I'm trying to rip his shoulder out of the socket. That cringe right there, that's what we want. This is we want pain, him, right? But why are we being nice about it here? Because we all want to go to church tomorrow and not have a cast on. Right? So, that's why we're being nice. But we're getting the fundamental techniques down because you can't do it slow. You can't do it fast. Don't rush to get it wrong. Go slow. He comes in, right, and swings, boom, boom, boom. He's going to let me get the technique down until I get it right. If I'm not doing it right, then he's not going to go down. If I'm doing it right, then whether he wants to go down or not, it's just a matter of time of what he does. Okay? So, go ahead, keep working that. Make sure each side gets to work. All right, guys. So, some of that we're going to continue on with tomorrow when we get into our jiu-jitsu portion, right? Because with no one here, right? Again, it's going to come in, right? Walk, drop, drag. And from here, I can start doing jiu-jitsu, right? I can be really mean. Bam. By my elbow, right? I can go here, and then I can start pinning him down with my shin. I'm going to show you that tomorrow, right? Maybe I walk, drop, he lost his knife. Cool. Rear naked choke, all right? I'm doing it terribly. Now we're good, okay? So, we're going to learn more of that tomorrow because we're just getting started, all right? That being said, we're coming to the end of our time. After this, we're going to have some time for Q&A. If you want to ask questions, explore techniques, I'll be here hanging out with you guys so that you can check that out. If you're sad, I'm tired, I'm good to go, I want food, thank you for coming. That being said, this has been day 1 of our Combatives Primer seminar. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask them.
I did want to say something.
And no, we got something to say.
Everybody, for tomorrow, for the jiu-jitsu portion, again, it's going to be for 4 hours. I would suggest it's going to be hot, just like today was. But wear something loose, wear something that you're able to breathe in, get a lot of sleep, stretch, please. We're going to warm up when we get here as well, but just pre-stretch when you guys are at home. And drink a lot of water, because tomorrow it's going to be as physical as Vince's, or even more physical. We're going to have mats out. Just be prepared to get flexible and to learn some good techniques.
Let me bounce off of that. Some people were cool with today, they're not cool with tomorrow, right? They see jiu-jitsu, they see UFC, it's like, I don't want to be like those guys who are rolling around sweaty. On a self-defense aspect, you kind of don't get a vote when and where you have to fight. You only get a vote beforehand how prepared you're going to go into those situations. Jiu-jitsu is uncomfortable, all right? I roll with Noah. He sits on me, like legitimately, like butt on chest sits on me, okay? It's not comfy. But the more I tackle that discomfort, the more I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to endure that. The better off when some other discomfort comes my way, I'll be able to handle that, right? There's nothing comfortable around him putting me in a rear naked choke. But it's the first time you try to do something about this. When someone's trying to choke you out, you panic. And when you panic, you pass out. But when you get used to the discomfort, it's like, okay, I've been here like 50 times this past week. I can breathe, so I'll be fine. Okay? And what we do with knives, he's going to do with his bare hands wrapped around your neck. All right? Do you want to not face the discomfort and then panic when it happens? Or do you want to accept the discomfort, get stronger from it, and you're better off? All right? Especially you ladies. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was designed so that a smaller person can survive an attack against a larger person. That's why it won the first 6 UFCs. The 150-pound guy against a sumo wrestler. A sumo wrestler, all right? Big, chunky, and meant to knock you over. And they won, all right? So I highly encourage you guys. We still have come tomorrow. Those who weren't here and it's like, I'm going to skip. Get them here tomorrow. Get them rolling with us tomorrow. Because you can't roll with the punches if you don't know how to roll. So roll with us, okay? And I promise you, if you're uncomfortable getting into jiu-jitsu, this is a place where you do it for free. You save your money, go buy a milkshake afterwards. And you can do it around people who you know that they're just trying to make you better, okay? So, highly encourage you guys. Come to the jiu-jitsu portion tomorrow. So, and also because Noah's going to be teaching it, it's going to be a great opportunity for him to learn. Support him with that, okay? So, with that, anyone have any questions they want to tackle? This way.
Is it for shorts tomorrow or like late?
So, you can do sweats. You can do, I'm going to be rolling in these tomorrow. You can do, people do it in leggings, people do it in shorts. What are you comfortable with? Just make sure it stays on, okay? Because
Yeah, so I'm going to be completely honest and transparent. Jiu-jitsu, you're going to be moving around, you're going to be moving your hips around and everything. So just make sure that it's tight around the waist. It won't get loose, yeah. So just make sure that's tight. It won't get loose, like Vince said, because we're going to be doing a lot of rolling on the mats where there is opportunities where your shorts may come down. So just make sure that it's tight, but just make sure that you can breathe it in as well.
yeah, whatever can stay and preserve your dignity and help you roll, okay? So, It's like you laugh now until it's you tomorrow. I'm like, whoo! Okay? Yeah, so. All right, any other questions? Did you guys have fun today? Awesome. Thank you guys for coming today.